with Jerry Cowan, head coach of the than the right hash for a kicker because he can just push it right up through. Rich going for the field goal to win. Has this ever happened in Rich Rebel football? A field goal to win? Huffaker lined up. Oh boy, here we go. 4th down. Huffaker kicks it. It's up, and it is through. The Rebels win.
Rich Rebel football is on.
Jessen back looking to throw. Ball pops loose again at the Rebels hit him, and Riley Taylor is on it.
After a first-round exit in last year's playoffs, the Rebels return to the gridiron with hopes of taking it to the next level.
Huffaker takes the snap, throws deep, looking for Wilson, and he makes the catch in traffic at the 45 to the Altamont 40-yard line. Kyler Wilson.
Strap in and join us for Rich High School football on Rebel Radio KADQ FM 98.3 with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Auto Farm Chevrolet, Evanston Regional Hospital, by Plains Tire, the Come On In of Casper, by West Star Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, by Cash Honda Yamaha of Cache Valley, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, and by mylocalradio.com.
Another give to Hislop. This time he's got some room across the 50, 45.
And now, Rebel football fans.
Takes the snap, keeps himself right up the gut, and Hislop just grabs his shoulder pads from behind and pushes him forward, and Huffaker gets out across the 20.
Hang up your hats, kick back, and get ready to run as we head to the field to join the play-by-play voice of the Rebels, Ryan STEINECKERT.
Good evening, Rebel football fans, and welcome to Duchesne, Utah. Today, the Rebels take on the Eagles. We're in Eagle country down in the Uinta Basin as the Rebels play their penultimate game of the season just tonight, and then next week of the regular season, a week of play-in games, and then the playoffs continue after that. Rebels tonight at Duchesne need to play their best. This is a very solid and physical Duchesne Eagles football team here on KADQ. We've got the Rolene Kennedy pregame show. Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Chevrolet. That's coming up when we return on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolene Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. Auto Farm Chevrolet, a community-driven dealership. We've got an exciting gridiron battle for you here tonight as the Rebels play at Duchesne. The Eagles come into this one looking pretty solid and having won their last three by just gigantic margins. We'll tell you about that more now on the pregame show, brought to you by J-Bar Excavation. The team, the tools, and the experience for your excavation project. Taking a look at our scene set graphic. Rebels are the visiting team, so we'll chat about them first. Rich comes in at 0-6 on the season, 0-3 in 2A North Region play, scoring 5 points per game and allowing 34.5 per game. Now, the Rebels last week were down at Enterprise and struggled. The Rebels, right out of the gate, Enterprise took its opening drive straight down the field, And let me just double check. 7 plays, 57 yards. They scored the touchdown and led 7-0. Never looked back. They scored 41 straight points. And then the Rebels put one score on the board late in the game to get that touchdown. So Rich, with that loss, again dropped to 0-6 on the season, and in danger of going winless this year. Now, tonight, Rich will have to play extremely well to beat Duchesne. Next week looks like maybe a more winnable game against Monticello back at home at Rich. But, boy, you'd love to come in here to Duchesne and get a win on a rival's home field. We'll see how that goes tonight. The Duchesne Eagles come in at 7-1 overall. Got one loss against 2A's second-best team is what it looks like, the Milford Tigers. And 4-0 so far in 2A North Region play. And just take a listen to these scores. They beat North Summit 41-14. That was at North Summit. Beat Monticello here in Duchesne 62-0. Won at Gunnison Valley 63-8. And that was only a half of football, I believe, delayed because of, or ended at halftime because of some weather, some lightning. And then hosting Layton Christian last week 53-0. So you look at the scores against those 4 2A North opponents, and Duchesne has had no trouble. Overall this season, the Eagles outscoring their opponents almost 37-12. And Duchesne comes in 6 state championships. They won 4 in a row. You know that. 48 wins in a row from 2010 through 2013. They won titles all 4 of those years, plus tack on 1 in 2006 and 10 years later in 2016, just 3 years ago. This Duchesne team is solid this year. And I mentioned the one loss against Milford. That was 46-21. Coach Cowan said since that game, they've made some changes. Skylar Ford, who was a fullback, Brock Ford, who was a tight end, might need to switch those, but those two were skill guys, and the team moved those 2 guys to the line. And we'll hear from Coach Cowan a little bit later on our pregame show, but he told me today that he would put this year's line up against any line he's had in the 14 years coaching for the Duchesne Eagles. And what a 14 years it's been for Coach Jerry Cowan. He coached for a few years, compiled a 115-33 record, and that was in 5 years, and then coached, took a few years of hiatus, so to speak, and then came back. He was an assistant during those years for Coach Billy Hoops, came back, and he's compiled an even better record. And overall, in his 13 years coaching the Duchesne Eagles, this is his 13th year, a .795 win percentage, almost winning 80% of his games. Coach Jerry Cowan, boy, just an impressive, hardly states how well the Eagles have done under Coach Jerry Cowan's tutelage. The Eagles and the Rebels, the last time they met, it was all Duchesne Eagles. It was a year ago at Rich High School, and Duchesne won 17-0. They scored on their opening drive. Didn't score again the rest of the first half, but scored again in the third and again in the fourth quarter, or twice more in the third quarter. They took care of the ball. Rebels had 2 interceptions to Duchesne's 1, and overall it was just an offensive or a defensive domination by the Eagles. Duchesne finished that game with 270-plus yards of offense, and the Rebels had just 60. Now, looking back at the history and the last time the Rebels beat Duchesne, it's been a few years. The Rebels last beat the Eagles in 2014, the Rebels' last state championship season, a 33-6 victory at Rich High School. And since then, it's been all Eagles. In that game, though, looking back, Coy Brown threw 2 touchdown passes. Wyatt Muirbrook had a 70-yard reception for a score, and Jaden Wallenton a 31-yard touchdown reception. Cash Saby ran 17 times for 68 yards and a score. For the Eagles, Wyatt Raymond played quarterback that day and had the lone rushing touchdown of the day for the Duchesne Eagles. But again, that was in 2014. It's been a few years since then. Overall, in the series, we'll tell you more about this, give you some more detail on the Lake Town Ledger just before kickoff, but it's Rich 22, Duchesne 21 in this series. The teams, this is the 44th time they'll have met, and this will either tie it up or give Rich back a 2-game lead in that series. That's your scene set, brought to you by J-Bar Excavation. The team, the tools, and the experience for your excavation project. Stay tuned. We'll be back on the Mound Valley Cattle Company to visit with a 2012 graduate of Rich High School when we return on the Rolene Kennedy of Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show here on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. Every excavation project requires the professionals, the equipment, and the strategy to get the job done right. J-Bar Excavation in Randolph, Utah has the team, the tools, and the plan to execute every phase of your project to create exactly what you're looking for. They have the machinery and the experience to provide quality work that fits your schedule and your budget. Call them today, 435-793-5855. J-Bar Excavation, 90 North Main, Randolph. The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper. Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. Today, the Rebels face off against the Duchesne Eagles. Now, the last time the Rebels beat Duchesne was in the Rebels' last state championship season, 2014. Rich beat Duchesne 33-6 up in Randolph. For the Rebels to beat the Eagles today in Duchesne, they'll have to be on their A++ game. We're about 35 minutes away from our opening kickoff, and it's time to catch up with Rebel alum Courtney Lamborn, who graduated from Rich High School in 2012. This portion of the Rolene Kennedy pregame show is called Where Are They Now? It's brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. We'll be right back to talk with Courtney on this broadcast of Rich Rebel football on Rebel Radio and online at mylocalradio.com.
Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Eddie and Todd Jensen, owners of Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho, are proud to support the Rich High Rebels in creating their own path and leaving a trail of success in athletics and in activities, in education and in life. Serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming since 1997. Mound Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614.
On the Mound Valley Cattle Company, Where Are They Now? Interview with Courtney Lamborn, 2012 graduate of Rich High School. Courtney, thanks for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm excited.
I've gotten to see you quite a bit around this year with mom coaching, Wendy, right? And then you got Brittany, little sis, playing on the team, and you've been at a lot of Rich Rebel volleyball games this year.
Yeah, I enjoy watching Rebel volleyball. Only missed for a couple years while I was on a mission, missing Cammie's senior year. But other than that, I'm at most Rich High volleyball and basketball games. So
let's get into more of what you just mentioned, the mission and what you've done since graduating from Rich. Where are you now?
So I currently live in Salt Lake, and I am a medical assistant at a functional medicine clinic, learning all about holistic medicine. I do a lot of yoga. I'm certified as a yoga teacher. I enjoy doing that. Working out with Cassidy McKee, fellow graduate, my buddy in crime. We still work out together and try to play volleyball as much as we can.
Yeah, there are competitive leagues you can play in, or is it just kind of some fun couple nights a week?
I sub on her rec team that she plays on, but it's pretty competitive, so it's fun that adrenaline comes back, and sometimes I want to tear up because I just miss playing so much.
Is it high and outside to Courtney Lamborn?
Yeah, it's best when Cassidy gets to play setter, and we get to live the glory days for a couple hours.
I want to talk more about the glory days, but first you mentioned a mission. Where did you go?
I went to Washington, D.C., so it was in the Northern Virginia area. It's really exciting.
Did you come back a Georgetown fan or the Redskins or Nationals, anything?
Maybe Nationals, just because don't watch too much baseball, but other than that, not really.
So, Courtney, the holistic medicine thing, how did you decide to go into that type of field?
I've always been really interested in different types of medicine, and I think the whole body is important in order to get healthy, and I've always liked health and nutrition, and so this, I kind of fell into it just looking for a job online, and since then I've learned a ton about different supplements and medicine, hormones, Lyme disease, all over the spectrum of medicine. It's been awesome.
I know that last year Brittany hurt her wrist at North Summit, right? Was that in the volleyball season? And I remember your dad telling me, yeah, we took her down to her big sister Courtney. She did something on the wrist, and boom, Brittany was fine.
Oh, we did. I try to get all my family to come into the clinic because we do lots of awesome treatments. So we wrapped Brittany's wrist in this. It's called a pulse electromagnetic field therapy, and she said it helped quite a bit. She called it my voodoo medicine, but she wasn't laughing once she left.
That's funny. So, Courtney, let's go back now to the glory days. Rich High School, 2012 graduate. What did you participate in at Rich?
So I did volleyball, basketball, and track. I threw the shot put in track, so that wasn't much of a runner in track like my sister. So I did that, and then I didn't do too many musicals. I did the associate degree program instead of that.
You played with Cassidy McKee. She's got a different last name now. She's married, right?
Yeah, she is. She's Cassidy Bennett now.
And tell me about a little bit more playing basketball, playing volleyball. What were some of the big memories? And track, did you guys win state? How did things go?
So when I was a freshman, we won volleyball and basketball that year. So that was really, really fun. And then I think we barely missed winning state track. And then we won basketball again my junior year, winning the semifinal game and the quarterfinal game. We won both of those by 1 point and then blew out the championship. So we had 2 championships before the championship.
Who did you beat in the championship? Do you remember?
It was Bryce Valley. We beat them about by 20. The whole bench got to get in for the last part of the fourth quarter. So we were celebrating before it was even over.
Visiting with Courtney Lamborn, a 2012 graduate of Rich High School, on the Mound Valley Cattle Company. Where Are They Now interview, brought to you by Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. And there's a story about Courtney Lamborn. I think it was in the semifinals, hitting free throw after free throw after free throw, and you guys won by a point, right?
Yeah, we did. So free throws were my favorite thing. So I had a saying that was bend and snap. That was my free throw mantra. And so it didn't matter when I was shooting. I just had bend and snap in my mind, and it worked pretty well for me throughout the years.
I hope you don't use bend and snap in the holistic medicine. That might hurt.
No, I don't.
But 18 for 18, right from the free throw line. Was that in the semis against Paiute?
Yes, yeah, it was. It was a good game.
You're a legend at Rich High School for that those free throws.
Oh, well, thank you.
Courtney, any favorite memories? I mean, those were some from basketball. What about with volleyball?
Volleyball, I mean, both sports, just being able to watch just brings back a flood of emotion. Just the emotion of being in the gym. I love to stay after and practice, and the games, and being able to dig in and take that, I don't know if you want to say anger or adrenaline, and just being able to put it out on the floor. Loved going through Coach Stewart's program. There's so many memories throughout there, and just being with my friends and competing. I just love to compete, and so I can't think of specific memories. Well, I could think of a few. I just don't know if I want to share them on the air. I know one thing that I still joke about with Cassidy is we both had a sort of superstition. So she couldn't play with gum, and I couldn't play without gum. And so on more than one occasion, we were on the volleyball court, and she would panic that she had gum, and I'd realize I forgot mine. And so we'd switch mid-game so that we'd both be on our peak performance with our superstition.
Wait a minute. You would, she'd give you her gum?
Yeah, she would. So we always had each other's back, and everyone else on my team. We had so much fun doing cheers, making up cheers, dancing, competing. It was so much fun. I miss it so much.
That would be just revolting if you guys weren't so close, and if it wasn't the superstition sports thing. It would just be like, oh.
Yeah, I had lots of superstitions, and everyone was good with me to do make sure my shoes were extra tight, pause for that. And we just had so much fun practicing hard, playing hard, and winning together, losing together. We had the memories of cutting the net at basketball and being on that high, and then the next year coming up short and eating a full thing of Ben & Jerry's ice cream with a couple Cokes and some Sour Patch Kids to take in the loss. But the memories either way, with the wins or the losses, are all awesome.
Courtney, it sounds like, a lot of great memories. You had the chance to win some state titles, play for some state titles. Most of us, if we got to the playoffs, we thought we had a pretty good season, but it's a different kind of environment for Rich County.
Yeah, it is. You come out expected to win, which I love, because I think that's carried through life. Even if you're down, no one expects you to lose. They expect you to come back and win. And even from some of those losses, I think we still learn to put everything out, live with no regrets. And that's something that I've loved taking from Rich High Sports, is you put it all out, you do your best, you put in the hard work, and at the end of the day, you can know that if you left it all out there and did your best, it was a success. Even if you came up short a few times and that still hurt, I still talk about senior year losses that still, people say you get over them. I still haven't got over it after 7 years, but I still take away those lessons learned from the sports.
It's some great advice for anybody listening. Just give it your best, and sometimes you fail, but you learn from it, right?
Yeah, you really do, and I think sometimes we're in a rush to get out of high school to live in the real world, but there's so many memories, so much to learn, just enjoying the moment, enjoying being with your friends, enjoying that ability to compete. outside world, you can still compete with people, but there's not that ability to just channel in all that adrenaline and just put it all out on the floor and be able to express it. And it's something that if you're in high school, you should soak up every second of it.
Courtney, is there anything else that you'd like to touch on, or anything we should know about you? Anything that you'd like to say to folks listening today?
I love Rich High. I'm excited for everyone listening. Grateful for Ryan for broadcasting so we can all see it. Those of us that are super fans still after graduating, and go Rebels.
Courtney Lamborn, a 2012 graduate of Rich High School. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck with the medicine, and it's fun to see you here at the matches. I'm sure Coach Lamborn and Brittany appreciate that, and thanks for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Courtney, for joining us on Where Are They Now? Brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. Stay tuned when we return on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. We'll visit with each of the coaches of today's teams on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. This is Rich Rebel Football on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video at mylocalradio.com. We take your fun very seriously. That's why we put so much emphasis on training and experience with our mechanics at Cash Honda Yamaha. Whether you're getting it ready for an upcoming season, putting it away for the winter, having routine maintenance, or have a mechanical problem, we want to make sure that when you're ready to have fun with it, it's ready for you. Don't trust your fun to just anyone. Make sure you bring all your service work to Cash Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley. As one of the region's most visited websites, mylocalradio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Stream your favorite music all day, every day, or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit mylocalradio.com today to stream it all live.
Tuned in to Rich High Rebel Football on KADQ 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. This is Rebel Coach Justin Grohl on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Stay tuned in. Kickoff is just 20 minutes away here on KADQ.
Welcome to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Count on us to care. With just 2 games left in the regular season, the Rebels hit the road today for a battle at Duchesne. The Eagles come into this game at 7-1, having won their last 3 games 62-0, 63-8, and 53-0. To avoid a similar fate, the Rebels will have to play their best game of the season. It is a very tough, physical, and deep Duchesne Eagles team. Stay tuned. We'll visit with Coach Jerry Cowan, and then we'll talk to Rebel head coach Justin Grohl and get his thoughts on today's game when we return on this Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show on Rich Rebel Football on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and for the 3rd year in a row, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 100 for quality as well as best practices and critical access, with a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. So, when it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
At Ellingford Brothers, we're known for an excellent steel shop and quality cement. We also provide other products all year round. Sand and different sizes of gravel for road base and landscaping in the summer and fall. Traction in the winter and mud control in the spring. Bark for landscaping in the summer and winterization in the fall. And topsoil. Spring, summer, and fall. Prices are always honest. Pickup or delivery. Ellingford Brothers, your year-round source for so many things. Stop in today at 221 County Road in Evanston.
With Jerry Cowan, head coach of the Duchesne Eagles. Coach, I appreciate your time. Your season so far, 7-1, things looking good.
Yeah, we've kind of had a tough preseason schedule and come out with one loss, and then we've been in region, and we've kind of done what we've had to do. So right now we're sitting pretty good.
The one loss against Milford, how did you feel like you guys played in that game?
It's funny because we never punted the ball once, but we turned it over 5 times in a matter of 10 minutes. So from towards the end of the first quarter and then through the second quarter, we had, I think, 2 interceptions and 3 fumbles. So, I honestly felt like we played pretty well, besides the turnovers, which is kind of an important thing. But, we moved the ball on them, and we had a few stops defensively, but right now we'd love to get another shot at them, but, that's a ways away, from where we're at now. But overall, I mean, I think they're beatable for us, and I also think Beaver's is a team that we'd like to have a shot at too. But, it's hard to say with this RPI. We don't know who we're going to play first round of the playoffs. So, I mean, we might not get past that.
That's one thing I wanted to bring up. A couple of changes this year, jumping up to 2A and the RPI. So far, your take on that RPI rating?
Well, it's just, I don't know. A lot of people complained about it. I don't really care. I mean, it's kind of intriguing because normally at this point in the season, we already kind of know who we're going to have. If you're first in the region, you're going to end up playing whoever it sets you up with. But with this, it's kind of, a surprise, as far as it could be one of 3 or 4 teams. And so that part of it's kind of fun. And I don't know if you're going to get the best teams where they should be. That's the challenge, I guess. You keep hearing it'll play itself out. But, hell, we're a couple weeks left. And some of these teams that, especially in these bigger classifications, I've seen some teams that are ranked above teams they beat or that have beat them. So I don't know for sure right now. I'm kind of in between.
Another big change this year, the jump to 2A. How's that treated Duchesne Eagles?
Well, it hasn't really changed for us. I mean, we played the same teams we played last year. Honestly, Enterprise is the one team we added that we played. So we haven't really seen Beaver or, we haven't seen Kanab, Millard. So for us, it feels like it's the same. Obviously when we get into the playoffs, it'll probably be a little different. But, I mean, it's been good to have the extra teams, as far as adding the extra teams. But our North region's pretty much the 1A league.
Speaking of the North region, you guys the last 3 weeks have dominated your 3 opponents in the North. Do you feel like you've played well? Has it been tough to kind of stay sharp, or what's that been like the last 3 weeks?
It's been tough. I mean, we trying to get a half in with our varsity. And it's nothing against the opponents. We have a good team. We've got a lot of seniors and but for us it's been, really challenging and to keep these kids focused and practice and a lot of these teams we're playing are young or they're thin or, so I think it's got probably a lot of negatives, as far as the teams in the South. They're getting good games every week, and we're lucky to get a half in, the last 3 or 4 weeks. So we're healthy. That's a positive, I guess.
Speaking of some of those seniors, you said before the season that your line, how they stepped up would determine how good you guys were this season. How have they stepped up?
Well, we took our fullback last year, Skylar Ford, and our tight end last year, Brock Ford, his twin brother, and put him at guard. And we took 2 of our better athletes with good size and put them on the line. And to be honest, our line right now is, I've been here, I don't know how many years, 14 years, and I'd put this line up against any line we've had. I mean, I'm not saying they're better than any of the lines we've had, but they're definitely not far behind, So we're athletic, we're big, we're strong, and we were inexperienced at the beginning. So especially when we played Milford, that week we'd moved our one of our guards from fullback to guard. So I feel like since that moment we've come to a point where we feel like, we're pretty solid in that area. But luckily we had good enough skill kids that we could move a few of those kids. So you're not always fortunate enough to do that. Being as deep as we are this year, we took a couple of our better skill kids and put them on the line, and it just made us a lot better.
Speaking of depth, I think the rumor is you guys picked up some kids from Altamont. What kind of an impact has that had on your team? Yeah,
we got 6 of them. 3 of them are freshmen, so obviously they haven't helped us with the varsity. The other 3 kids have, they all start one side of the ball. I think all 3 of them start defensively actually, and don't really play any offense. So, it took them a long time to kind of figure out our system offensively. I think that was the biggest factor for us. It was just put them on the other side of the ball, and they're athletic, they're tough. 2 of them are wrestlers, so you know all about that program. And Coach Sanderson, was fortunate enough to not tell them they couldn't come over here. So and I don't know if he could have done that or not anyway, but we're just real supportive. Their community's been. Their numbers are down. This year they didn't have a junior high football program, so I don't really see, anything changing in the future. So, maybe we pick up a couple more next year. It's hard to say, but, the good news is those kids get an opportunity to play football, and, of course we're fortunate enough to get them. So, it helps us out, but, I just looked at it like if it was my kid and I didn't have an opportunity for him to play football and another school next to us had it, I would sure hope they'd take them, and that's kind of our perspective.
Coach, anything you want to touch on about tonight's game with Rich?
No, I mean, it's always fun to play you guys. I mean, I was just talking to our kids. I mean, there were times when we played you guys where we just got the crap kicked out of us. So we've been on that side of the ball too with this program, and luckily enough right now I feel like we're a little more dominant, and obviously got the big advantage this year. And of course, you got to go out and play the game. And, we just played a little JV type game. And to be honest with you, those Rich kids come out and played hard, and they were physical. And, we just talked about how, hey, they're not just going to come roll over and lay down for us. So, we're going to have to play. Obviously, if we play to our level, we should be okay. And, it's just been really, you have those rivalries with teams, and some of them are positive experiences and some are negative. But with Rich, we've always had, especially with Coach Brown, we've always had such a positive, respect for each other, and that just rubs off with the programs. The kids respect each other, and for us, that's what it's all about. Winning and losing obviously is important, but the brotherhood, the memories, the bonds, the friendships you get with these programs and these teams, these small town football programs, that that's why I do it. I do it because I love it. I love the competition. I love kids that are tough, that'll do whatever you ask them and work hard and be the best they can. And then I love playing programs that have such great tradition, and the names of these kids, you remember their brothers and some of these guys remember their dads. So it's something, that it's a special thing, and we're fortunate enough to get an opportunity to play Rich tonight, and it's going to be cold and probably not as cold as Randolph. So hopefully you guys brought your warm clothes, but probably not your fur coat. You probably didn't need that. Your coveralls or whatever you guys wear over there.
Brought the buffalo skins tonight, Coach. Jerry Cowan, thanks so much for your time. Good luck tonight and the rest of the season, Coach.
Always a pleasure, Ryan. Thanks.
Thanks so much. It's always a pleasure, Coach Cowan. We're only about 15 minutes away from kickoff and today's action, and you're tuned in to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Coming up on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show, we'll visit with Rebel head coach Justin Grohl. This is Rich Rebel Football on Rebel Radio and online at mylocalradio.com.
Meet the service and parts department staff at Auto Farm Chevrolet. We work on almost every type of vehicle, foreign and domestic. We also sell parts and accessories for almost all makes and models. Our staff is friendly and well-trained, and we are here to serve you. Open Monday through Friday beginning at 7:30 a.m., we invite you to Auto Farm Chevrolet for all your parts and for all your service needs. 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a community-driven dealer.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at Westar Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. Westar Printing, 307-789-5202.
Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. We're in the middle of the coaches show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. The Rebels will have to be good on defense today to slow down the Duchesne Eagles, especially if they want to keep Gavin Davis in check. Through 7 games this season, Davis is averaging 131 yards of offense per game, but more importantly, or more impressively, He's scoring a touchdown every 3 times he touches the ball and averages 16 yards per touch. That includes runs and receptions. He's a first down and a half every time he gets the football. Rebels will have to be aware of him and a lot of other Duchesne Eagles today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back to hear from Coach Justin Grohl to hear how his team plans to do that on this broadcast of Rich Rebel Football on KADQ 98.3 FM and online at mylocalradio.com.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and for the 3rd year in a row, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 100 for quality as well as best practices and critical access, with a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. So, when it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
When you enter the city limits of the town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabian, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, welcome you and say, with Rich Rebel football head coach Justin Grohl. Coach, the loss at Enterprise, you've had a few days to think about it. What are your thoughts at this point?
You know, we're going to have to move forward. They were a good team. They're very fast, and we didn't play very well. There was a lot of times we didn't tackle very well. We'd block once in a while, but we've got to be just same old thing that we keep saying. We got to be more consistent on all our positions, and then we can't be afraid to come up and make a hit. You know, when you have the chance and you need to fill, we just got to fill and be more aggressive. So the whole thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come in and be more aggressive and just sustain everything and move on.
When you talk about being more aggressive, expand on that a little bit more. What do you mean specifically? Is it certain positions or what is that?
You know, I think it's kind of straight across everyone. We're waiting for, like on defense, we're waiting for them to come to us before we want to go tackle. You know, it's, okay, will somebody else make a play? Or if not, then it's right to me, okay, I guess I better do it. So instead of having somebody else, we need to fill up and we got to be the ones thinking, you know what, I'm going to go make this tackle. I'm going to go take it to them instead of waiting for them to get to where I'm at before I'll tackle.
You're seeing some of that, but just not consistently and not all the time.
Yeah, it's a little bit. You know, we get glimpses once in a while, but overall we've got to do a better job as a team like that. I mean, and that's not just on defense, on offense, the same thing. We're waiting for blocks and stuff. We're waiting for them to get to us instead of going attacking them. And receivers, we're hoping that the ball gets to us, and instead of coming back, grabbing it and getting or blocking, same thing. So we've got to do a better job of being aggressive and taking it to them instead of just waiting for everyone to come to us, I guess.
Feels like that goes along with what you said Friday after the game and in kind of feeling the team out, seeing how it goes, and then, oh, shoot, we're down 2 touchdowns. Now we got to take that step and be the aggressor.
Yeah, and that's just the way it is we've got to get that mentality of we're going to be the aggressor. We're going to take it to them and let them be on their heels and that. And I think a lot of times it just swings that momentum. I mean, in football, you watch, momentum is a huge player. And if we could get that momentum going to us instead of having to always play on our heels, I think it would change things a lot.
Last week, statistically, I believe, was your best running game of the season. And when you talk about momentum, going to Duchesne against a very good physical Big Eagles team, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, they're extremely well. I mean, I've talked to some of the other coaches on that, and they're solid at every position. They got with Aldemont coming in and filling in 7 positions. You know, they've got 2 or 3 deep on every position that they're really good. So we've got to execute. We've got to just say, you know what, if we can do this, we're going to execute here, and when we do, just go all out.
I know you take it one game at a time. You're not thinking ahead to Monticello and trying to beat them back here at home, but that's something a little bit on the back of your mind?
Well, you kind of look at it throughout. I mean, really our regular season, we've only got 2 games, and we've only got 1 at home. So yeah, in a sense, it's there in the back of your mind, but you really can't take and worry about that game, because if you do, then the game that you're coming into, everything goes wrong for you. So we're going to look forward to this one, and then we'll go from there. Because one more person going down or something going wrong, and everything that you put in for 2 weeks anyway, if that happens, then you got to rebuild and restart anyway. So you just take and focus now instead of focusing on the future.
Coach, anything else you want to touch on?
I think that's got it.
Justin Grohl, the Rich Rebel football team, thanks for your time. Good luck at Duchesne Friday.
Thank you, Ryan.
This has been the Coach's Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. We're getting down to crunch time as this thing kicks off in less than 10 minutes. You're tuned in to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. When we return, we'll have the Laketown Ledger, the Town and Country Realty Green Scene, and the Epic Recreation Keys of the Game right after this on Rich Rebel Football on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video online at mylocalradio.com.
If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
When do you schedule doctor appointments?
In bed before I fall asleep. In the car waiting to pick up my kids.
We can even do it after breakfast.
We all lead busy lives. Online appointment scheduling puts you in control. In just 90 seconds, you can make an appointment with a primary care provider or specialist at evanstonanytime.com. Select the day and time most convenient for you. Enter some basic information, and just like that, you're scheduled for care. Schedule appointments for next day and beyond at evanstonanytime.com.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on mylocalradio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, LSR Refrigerated, and the Walletines in Garden City. Darren, Tricia, and the entire Walletine clan wish the Rebels good luck. And by CAD Answer Technical Services, proudly supporting the Rich Rebels. The staff at CAD Answer Technical Services wish the Rebels good luck on the field, on the court, in the classroom, and in life.
Go Rich Rebels!
Welcome back to Duchesne High School and tonight's Rebel football game at Duchesne. You've been tuned into the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Chevrolet, a community-driven dealership. Let's move right along in our pregame coverage into the Town and Country Realty Green Scene. Sunny it was earlier today. I don't see a cloud in the sky. The moon is full. It's off to our west. You might see that in some of the video tonight during the broadcast. But 42 degrees, chilly. Luckily, the wind has died down. It's pretty much nothing at this point. That wind was cold earlier, but 42 degrees currently, and looking for a low tonight in the 20s. So it's going to be a cold one tonight here in Duchesne. That may affect how the teams play, how they hit, how they wrap up, and things like that. Of course, they'll be a lot warmer than we will up here on top of the press box, just out in the cold, layered up and trying to stay warm. The Rebels at the Duchesne Eagles. Some Rebel fans across the way. Eagles fans down in front of us. The van, the trailer is here from V6 Media out of Vernal. They're covering the game tonight as well. And the Eagles have a full house tonight here at Duchesne for tonight's game. That's your Town and Country Realty Green Scene. Town and Country Realty, selling Bear Lake in Utah and Idaho. That's Pam Cornea, 435-779-0012. Taking a quick look at your Laketown Ledger, brought to you by the town of Laketown. Good luck, Rebels, from the mayor and town council of Laketown. Rebels and Eagles have met 43 times in the history of this series. Duchesne has won 12 of the last 13. Rich won 33-6 in 2014, but it's been all Duchesne since that point, including 3 times in the championship game in 2010, 12, and 13, and once in the semifinals of 2011. And again, 12 of the last 13 Duchesne has won. The Rebels won 13 straight from 94 to 2004, including twice in the championship game, 95 and 96. But Rich has not beat Duchesne since 2014 in a 4-game win streak for the Eagles against Rich. That's your town of Laketown Ledger. Good luck, Rebels, from the mayor and town council of Laketown. Moving forward in our pregame coverage, We've got starters coming up in just a moment, but first, your Epic Recreation keys of the game. Epic Recreation for all your rentals in Bear Lake. Visit epicrecreation.net. Number one is play aggressive, and this is one that Coach Grohl has really tried to get his team to focus on lately. Following last week's loss at Enterprise, Coach Justin Grohl told me his team has a tendency to start timid and feel the other team out before they dive in, so to speak. An accurate perception. In first quarters this season, the Rebels have been outscored 68-6. It's no wonder that Coach Grohl says his team needs to start stronger and be the aggressor. Rebel coaches are working to make aggressiveness a focal point in practice, both in the way the guys play and trying to get them to change the way they think to be more aggressive. Now, we know Duchesne will come out aggressive from the start, and for Rich to avoid being trampled underfoot, to quote Led Zeppelin, the Rebels have to play aggressive. Number two is limit turnovers. These are your Epic Recreation keys of the game. Through the first 6 games this season, the Rebels have turned the ball over 17 times while forcing just 6 takeaways. In blowout losses, so that would be Kanab, Bear Lake, North Summit, and Enterprise, Rich sits at a -9 in turnover differential. It's not a coincidence that in their closer games, that's Gunnison Valley and Layton Christian, the turnover differential is much closer, a -2. The last 2 weeks have been especially poignant. Rich has 9 giveaways and just 1 takeaway, and the result, 2 losses and being outscored by a combined 79-6. Now, this one is simple. Don't give the other team extra opportunities to score. Rich has to limit turnovers. And 3 is execute consistently. Last week at Enterprise, on the Rebels' second play from scrimmage, Riley Carrillo optioned to his left, rolled out, and surveyed the field. He had a lane to run, an open pitch man, and a receiver all alone 15 yards down the field. Now, while that play ended in a dropped pass and no gain, the execution on the play set it up for success. We have the national anthem. I'm going to take a quick break. Be right back.
Early Oregon-bound immigrants traveled through the Bear Lake Valley. U.S. Highway 30 basically follows the Oregon Trail. Many wagon trains stopped at Thomas L. Pegleg Smith Trading Post, located near Dingle, Idaho, for supplies. One traveler wrote of camping along Cotton Line Bear River, watching grass as tall as a man wave in the wind. Today, you don't have to ride in a wagon to visit Bear Lake Valley, but the rich history is still here to enjoy. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolene Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
All right, welcome back. I apologize taking that quick break from the Epic Recreation keys of the game. Let's jump back into that now with key number 3 is execute consistently. I was going back to that one play early on in the game. The Rebels optioned Riley Carrillo out to the left. It was an RPO, a run-pass option, and he had a man open down the field. He had a pitch man, and he had a lane to run in. Now, that play didn't end up with great success, but it was set up for success because of execution, blocking, and running the play. Now, despite an 0-6 record, if you watch the film, you can find multiple plays in every game where the Rebels execute and succeed. Where they've fallen short is doing it consistently. If Rich can turn the corner from executing occasionally to executing consistently, they'll have a chance today at Duchesne. But they have to execute consistently. Those are your keys of the game, brought to you by Epic Recreation. EpicRecreation.net. That's where you can find them online or visit them on Facebook. You can also give them a call at 435-946-EPIC. That's 435-946 for all your rentals in the Bear Lake area, whether it be out down on the lake, up in the hills, no matter where. Epic Recreation has all your rentals for all your fun in the Bear Lake Valley. just about to get underway. The Rebels will kick off to start this game, and Stetson Huffaker approaches the Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff, and we're underway. A low dribbling kick. Gavin Davis fields it at the 15. Right side to the 20, 25, finds a hole, 25, 30, 40. He's free to the 50, and nobody's going to catch him to the 40, to the 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Gavin Davis goes 85 yards for the score, and Duchesne jumps out to an early lead, 6-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 14 seconds gone by.
On the way to the end zone.
An 85-yard touchdown return. Gavin Davis, he was one of the guys I wanted to key on today and mention that the Rebels have to watch him. He averages 131 yards of offense per game. That's including kick returns. And every third touch, he has scored a touchdown. That's going to go up. He has 39 touches this season between carries and receptions and 13 touchdowns. That's some easy math. 39 divided by 13 is 1 in every 3. And Davis takes the first touch back for a score. Extra point is up and good. Duchesne leads 7-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. What could be better than a fresh, mouth-watering burger from the Crawford Trough in Randolph? Top it with cheese and thick-cut bacon, or throw in some mushrooms and make it a double. Now we're talking. Add home-cut fries and a creamy shake, and you might just think you're in paradise. With crisp salads and tasty wraps, plus onion rings, perfectly cooked chicken, cold drinks, and silky smooth ice cream, the Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink at 120 South Main in Randolph.
You're tuned in to Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ Evanston.
Back at Duchesne, where the Eagles took the opening kick, 85 yards for the score. It was Gavin Davis. And Duchesne leads 7-0 after Baptista kicked the extra point through. That's Javier Baptista, a senior. Well, so we've seen Duchesne run some onside kick. They got up on Duchesne, or on Gunnison Valley 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. Up 7-0 after the opening possession, and then ran an onside kick and picked and recovered it. And Baptista's his preference is he'll just dribble it those 10 yards and then try to get there before the other guy. A low line drive. Rebels misplay it a bit, and Stetson Huffaker goes back to the 5 to scoop it up. Runs right, gets out near the 15, and there he's hit and met.
Stetson Huffaker
with the Duchesne defense and the turf. Duchesne Eagles defense, so we'll give you those starters and the Rebel offensive starters. Visitors first, that's the Rebels up front from left to right. Tackles are the left tackle, number 72, a junior, Colton Johnson. Left guard, number 55, a sophomore, James McKinnon. Center is number 57, a sophomore, Justin Adams. Right guard, number 1, Riley Taylor, a junior. And right tackle is 51, a senior, Bridger Weston. Rebels start 1st and 10 from about their own 15-yard line. Carrillo turns and gives up the middle, right side, for a short gain. Maybe not even that. I thought.
No gain on the play.
No gain on the play is what they'll settle with.
Second down and
just a 1-yard gain.
For the Rebels.
John, did you see who carried the ball there? Was that Stetson? Rebels starting from their own 16-yard line, get out to the 17. Trips out to the left side with Huffaker, or no, that's Wilson behind, and Carrillo runs to his left and can't even get a pitch off before he's brought down in the backfield.
With the tackle and loss on the play.
So the Rebels lose about 5. Carrillo tried to go back and get away from that defender and couldn't find any space. Riley Carrillo, 56 carries, 25 yards. If you take away sack yardage, he's actually done fairly well. I think about 3.5 yards per carry on 26 attempts or so. 3.5 yards per carry on 40 attempts. There's the sheet I was looking for. John Scott running my cameras tonight pointed out for me. 3rd down and 15. Riley back to throw. Pressure comes. Can he hold on to the football becomes the question as he is gobbled up by a bunch of Duchesne Eagles. Clear back at about the 5 or 6 yard line. And that'll be another sack. This time they lose 6. And Rich is forced into a punting situation. The Duchesne Eagles will take over. Duchesne leading 7-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Gavin Davis returned the opening kick, about 85 yards for the touchdown. Huffaker 5 yards deep in his own end zone. It's blocked, and it's in the end zone, recovered by the Eagles. Duchesne blocks the punt, scores the touchdown. 2 scores. They haven't even run an offensive play yet. So the punt blocked and recovered in the end zone gives Duchesne a 13-0 lead on the Station on Main scoreboard. A horrific start for the Rich Rebels here tonight. Rebels starting offense, get through the rest of them real quick. Wide receivers are Flint Silva, Connor Greer, quarterback Riley Carrillo, running back Kyler Wilson.
Kick is up and good.
Wingback Jaden Grohl, and the fullback is senior Stetson Huffaker. Baptista kicks the extra point up and through, and Duchesne leads 14-0 on a chilly night in Duchesne. We looked at the Town and Country Realty green scene, and it was 42 degrees at kickoff. And with the sun going down, clear skies, a full moon, it's going to be a cold one tonight in Duchesne. Defensive starters for the Eagles. Up front, seniors across the board. Riker Blackburn, number 66. Skylar Ford, number 78. Brock Ford, number 60. And number 50 is Dominic Meller. Both the Ford brothers were all-state last year as juniors. Linebackers are Jordan Claiborne, number 40, 43, Colin Skews, 53, Cale Skews, and 44, Tristan Farnsworth. Cornerbacks are number 7, Caden Sorensen, and number 8, Gavin Davis, with free safety, number 22, Caleb Sanchez. 7 returning starters on defense for this Duchesne Eagles team as they set to kick it away again, and Rich will have the football back. They went 3 and out. The punt was blocked, and Duchesne recovered in the end zone to make it 14-0. Kyler Wilson receives to the 15, toward his right, back to his left across the 20, near the 30. He's hit as he went back to his left. Colin Skews makes the tackle, and Rich starts 1st and 10.
For the Rebels.
Here in this Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter. 9:34 left in the first. Rich from its own 29-yard line.
Channel V6. If you got somebody that couldn't be here tonight,
Rebels had Stetson Huffaker on first down, picked up a yard on that first play from scrimmage, and then the Rebels went backwards after that on the last possession.
Or 706.
2 receivers right, 2 wide left. Carrillo in the shotgun. Good snap. Riley rolls right and throws. He's got Huffaker right at the line of scrimmage on the right hash. A short gain as Stetson made the catch and was immediately tackled.
Reception, Jordan Claiborne with the tackle.
Riley Carrillo, 28 of 58 this season passing the ball.
Gain of 2 on the play. Second down
and that's 8. For 324 yards, 3 touchdowns, 9 picks. Huffaker on the reception. The Rebels gained 2 on the play. To the 31, 2nd down, 8 yards to go for Rich, attacking right to left. The low snap, Riley goes back and dives on it back around the 23, and Rich will lose 8 or 10 yards. That was a real issue in the first game of the season, and the Rebels have gone away for the most part from the shotgun formation because of that problem.
3rd and long
against Kanab. 2 or 3 plays went for minus 40-plus yards and stalled a couple of drives or a couple of possessions where the Rebels looked like they were moving the football. This time, because of that loss of 10, Rich faces a 3rd down and 18. Duchesne showing pressure up the middle. Riley takes the snap and quick give up the middle. No room for Huffaker right up the gut. In fact, he lost a few back to the 19-yard line.
Guerrero with the tackle.
Guerrero in on the tackle. Big-time defensive penetration. And that was a loss of 2. Back to the 19-yard line. So Huffaker lines up to punt it again. Gavin Davis, who's returned to kick already tonight. It's 14-0 Duchesne. Davis awaits. Low line drive kicked away from Davis. He'll run to his right, pick it up off the bounce. Makes a move around the right sideline to the 40, to the 30, and he breaks free to the 20, 10-5. Gavin Davis, 2 touches, 2 touchdowns, no laundry on the field. Duchesne still has not run an offensive play and leads 20-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Gavin Davis, an 85-yard kick return for a touchdown, and we'll give him a 60-yard unofficially punt return for a touchdown. Baptista back out to kick, and this is Coach Cowan probably feeling some mixed feelings right now. He's frustrated with the way the last 3 weeks have gone because his offense has not been able to stay sharp because of the way his team is beating opponents. Kick is up and good, 21-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. And Duchesne leads big in this Crawford Trough and Randolph first quarter. Rich will take over on the kickoff in a moment. Duchesne's last three against Gunnison Valley, Layton Christian, and Monticello, they've won by an average of 59-3. Against 2A North opponents, Duchesne is winning 55-6. Contrast that with the Rebels' average loss against Layton Christian, North Summit, and Gunnison Valley, an average loss of 29-8. And so it gives you a little bit of explanation about what we're seeing so far tonight. Duchesne has yet to run an offensive play. 2 kick returns, one kick, 1 punt return for a touchdown, and a blocked punt recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. And Duchesne leads 21-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Baptista set to kick again. Javier is a senior, kicks with the right foot. Rebels have 2 back deep, Kyler Wilson and Stetson Huffaker at the 10. Baptista kicks to the far sideline. That's a Rebel sideline. Takes a couple of rolls, and Huffaker picks it up at the 15, out to the 20, maybe the 25 on the return. And Rich will have decent field position to start this drive. Rebel volleyball team today, a good day. A 2-0 win over Millard, 2-0 win over South Sevier, 2-0 win over Milford. So Rich leaves that pool play today at the top. Number 1 team from that pool. In fact, they didn't lose a set. We're down a couple of sets against South Sevier and lost Ellie Brown to a knee injury. I understand they're hoping she'll be back within a couple of weeks, maybe for state tournament time, but we'll wish Ellie the best tonight as she tries to deal with a knee injury she suffered today in the volleyball. But the Rebel team 3-0 today against 2A's number 2 Milford, 3A's number 9 South Sevier, and Milford from the 1A classification. Rebels with 2 receivers right, 2 wide left. Carrillo back under center with the Rebels down 21-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Carrillo gives up the gut, and Huffaker has no room to go. Ball popped loose, and Duchesne's pointing in their direction, and they have it. Rebels have run 3-4 plays. They've had a punt blocked, a kick returned for a touchdown, and a punt returned for a touchdown. And on this possession, 1 play, a fumble, and Duchesne takes over at the Rebel 25-yard line.
25-yard line.
First quarter, 7:18 left, and Duchesne gets set to run its first play from scrimmage. They've scored 3 times already, 21-0 Eagles on the Station on Main scoreboard. In at quarterback looks like that's Kason Grant for this one. Grant and Cameron Brady will switch every other series just about. Grant takes the snap and rolls to his right, throws, and he's got his man at the right sideline. Touchdown. Easy catch and a quick score. Jordan Claiborne, the recipient, his 4th receiving touchdown of the season. This one 25 yards for the score. He averages 19 yards per reception. That one goes for just a bit more. And Duchesne's first play from scrimmage goes about how its first other 3 opportunities to do anything with it have gone. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. So Kason Grant. Here's Baptista for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. Duchesne leads 28-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard, not even halfway through the Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Corrigan Conk. Thanks for tuning in to Rich High School Football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
One play, 25 yards, a pass from Kason Grant to Jordan Claiborne for the score. Eagles of Duchesne have run one offensive play from scrimmage. They returned the opening kickoff, 85 yards for the score, blocked a Rebel punt, recovered it in the end zone, and returned a punt, 60 yards for the touchdown. And Duchesne leads 28-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Javier Baptista to kick it again for the fourth time. Rebels kicked off, so Rich will receive the kick off to start the second half. Wilson fields it at the 18. I know that's Huffaker running to his right and fielded, and he's dropped at the 27-yard line. Carson Sheets on the tackle, Rich from its own 27. I was talking about Duchesne and the way they've dominated the 2A North in their last three opponents, winning 59-3 on average. And Coach Jerry Cowan said, boy, how am I supposed to get prepared for state when he's just not being challenged, his team not being challenged? They played half a football game against Gunnison Valley and won 62-8, I think it was, a couple of weeks ago. Beat Monticello big time a few weeks before that. Dominated North Summit and Layton Christian as well. Rebels send Kyler Wilson in motion from left to right. Carrillo takes the snap, loops it out to Wilson on the right side. It's a backwards pass and finds its way out of bounds. The official on that sideline, the line judge, I think just indicated incomplete pass. That's a break for Rich, because if it's a fumble, then that's a loss of 5 or 6 yards. Instead, an incompletion brings up 2nd down and 10 for the Rebels at their own 27-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Rebels went 3 and out, had the punt recovered in the end zone, 3 and out, and the punt returned for a touchdown, and then fumbled on their last possession, first play from scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Carrillo back looking to throw, tucks it as pressure came and run right over Caden Jenkins for to the tune of 3 or 4 yards. Jenkins ended up bringing Carrillo down after about 4-yard gain. So give Riley 3 yards on the play. Carrillo had been sacked 3 times for loss of 21 yards. So that 3-yard gain, positive yardage. Actually out to the 31, it's a 4-yard gain. 28-0. Duchesne leads on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rich facing a 3rd and 6. One in the backfield, 2 receivers right, 2 left, and a Rebel moved on that right side. Some early movement from the receiver is a illegal procedure.
False start against the Rebels.
First penalty of the ball game. Again, Duchesne has run one play from scrimmage, a 25-yard touchdown from Kason Grant to Jordan Claiborne. Eagles returned the opening kick, blocked a punt, and returned a punt for a touchdown. Gavin Davis has touched it twice and scored twice. 28-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard in the Crawford Trough first quarter. Our camera tonight brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. Visit bearlakerealty.com for the most experienced and highest volume realty in the Bear Lake Valley, where the Rebels could really use a comprehensive family dental first down here on a 3rd down and 11 back at their own 25-yard line after that penalty. Carrillo takes the snap, throws out in the flat left side. Wilson catches with one hand, breaks a tackle, gets out near the 35, and goes down late after going out of bounds. He ducked out and then got hit late. Comes up. I was on the Duchesne sideline. A nice pitch and catch, but it'll be short of the first down of the yard to gain. Out to the 33-yard line. Brings up another punting situation for Rich. 8 yards on the pass and catch. Kyler Wilson, Riley Carrillo's favorite and best target so far this season. That's 14 receptions for 210 yards. He's also got 3 receiving touchdowns. Huffaker set to punt. Good snap, and he gets it off. Low line drive, end over end, goes out of bounds at about the Duchesne 40. So the Eagles will start in their own territory for the first time tonight.
For the Eagles, it'll be 1st and 10 Duchesne from their own 45-yard line.
They'll spot it at the 45.
Left in the first quarter.
Duchesne leading 28-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebel volleyball team today again went 3-0, and we'll have Rebel volleyball coverage from Richfield all day tomorrow. all the matches that the Rebels play. I believe they get started first thing in the morning against either Penguich or North Summit at 8:30, and we'll have the match live on KADQ and mylocalradio.com. Tight formation, and the handoff giving around from the left to the right side. Big room for Caleb Sanchez. Down the right sideline, cuts back to his left, and he goes all the way to the house. Sanchez with a 55-yard touchdown run. The blocking was there. Sanchez read the blocking perfectly and takes it all the way to the house. He was the wingback on the left side. Came in motion, got the handoff from Cameron Brady, went around the right, followed blocks, then cut it back to the middle of the field and scampered the rest of the 55 yards for the score. Duchesne's Javier Baptista with his 5th extra point attempt. The hold is good, spot, the kick is up, and it's good as well.
The kick is up and good.
35-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. And the running clock rule only goes into effect, I believe, after the half. We're halfway through the first quarter on the Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter. 35-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. A 55-yard touchdown run. Caleb Sanchez, a junior. This Duchesne Eagles team, they're skill guys. A lot of them, at least some of the best ones, are juniors this now. You got Gavin Davis, who's a senior, but excuse me, fullback Brock Adams is a junior, and Caleb Sanchez, the wingback who just scored, is a junior as well. But the rest of the Duchesne team, a lot of seniors, pretty senior heavy on the offensive and defensive lines. And that's maybe part of what makes this team so tough, is the experience they have. 12 seconds on that play for Caleb Sanchez to go the 55 yards. One play. Duchesne has run 2 offensive plays, and from scrimmage, I should clarify. Rebels set to receive this kickoff. Baptista kicks it short. Wilson fields at the 18-yard line, left sideline. Runs to his right and finds no room. Got to about the 22, and that's it on the return. Boy, this Duchesne Eagles team, tough at all positions, even on the kick coverage team, just not allowing any space for the Rebels to move the football. So Rich takes over 1st and 10 from its own 22-yard line. Rebels in this Crawford Trough and Randolph first quarter, attacking right to left at mylocalradio.com. 35-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Duchesne leads big midway through the first quarter. Carrillo back into the shotgun. We'll see if he can get a good snap. 2 receivers left, 2 right, and 1 man on his left hip was Colton Hislop, but a flag flies in with an offsides against Duchesne. An encroachment, a man lined up in the neutral zone.
Penalty. Remains first down and 5, Rebels.
Gives Rich a 1st down and 5 at the 27. Their own 27-yard line with 5:25 left in the first. Carrillo, same formation in the shotgun, gives to Hislop up the middle, and he dives back near the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard at the 26. Hislop came in with 36 carries for 70 yards. Make that 7 yards. That's 0.2 yards per carry. But the problem has been he's recovered a few bad snaps. And if you take out those ones, he's got 30 carries for 81 yards this season, almost 3 yards per carry. 2nd down and 6 after the loss of 1. Back to their own 26-yard line. The Rebels line up. Ball on the right hash. Carrillo under center. 2 receivers right, 2 out to the left. Wilson in motion left to right. Carrillo runs to his right, then looks back left. He finds Hislop. He was open but couldn't hold on to the pass. Wouldn't have been much of a gain. Gavin Davis was right there to bring him down had he made the catch, but still would have been positive yardage had he held on. Instead, the pass falls incomplete, and Rich faces a 3rd down and 6. And that's one of those epic recreation keys of the game that Coach Justin Grohl wants to see his team do better. Execute. The play was there. The design was good. They executed well until the pass was dropped. 3rd down and 6. Ball right in the middle of the field. And Carrillo under center. He's got Hislop behind him. Takes the snap. Pressure comes. Gets away for a moment, but then he's wrapped up and brought down in the backfield. Jose Guerrero on the tackle on the sack for Guerrero. That's his first sack of the season. A loss
Jose Guerrero
of 4. Back to the original line of scrimmage where this possession started. That's 4 sacks for minus 25 yards thus far in this first quarter against Rich, which lines up for the punt. Gavin Davis back to return. Huffaker gets off a lower line drive to the right sideline. It bounces out about midfield. And you can tell Huffaker doing whatever he has to punt away from Gavin Davis.
8-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles from their own 48.
Gavin Davis returned 1 punt for a score, 60 yards. He also returned the opening kick, 85 yards to the house. And Duchesne leads 35-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. They'll say this went out of bounds at Duchesne's own 48-yard line. It's senior night here at Duchesne High School. A lot of seniors on this Duchesne Eagles team as they line up 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Rebel defense in tight with Duchesne's offense lining up real tight. That forces the Rich defense to stay tight. A man coming in late is Jose Guerrero. Duchesne had just 10 men on the field. The judge starts to count the 5, 4, 3. Grant quickly under center, takes the snap, misdirection, and a reverse give to Gavin Davis. He picks his way forward for about 9 before the Rebels wrap him up and pull him back to try and prevent the first down. Davis tackled right about at the line to gain, which is the Rebel 42-yard line. They spot Davis at the 43. 9-yard gain for Gavin Davis. That's his first touch from scrimmage in this one.
Line.
To the Rebel 43. Ball close to the left hash as Duchesne attacks north to south. That's left to right if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com. Wide right is Claiborne, and I believe this is Cason Grant under center. Takes the snap, gives left side, Brock Adams up the middle, bounces out and picks up a few to the Rebel 35 before Rich wraps him up and brings him down.
Enough for Duchesne first down.
So Brock Adams picks up a few and moves the chains for the Duchesne Eagles. Rebels have yet to pick up a first down, and Duchesne picks up its first down right there. The rest of their plays have been so big they haven't needed first downs. A 25-yard touchdown pass from Cason Grant to Jordan Claiborne and a 55-yard touchdown run for Caleb Sanchez. That's part of what gives us our 35-0 score here as we're under 3 minutes left in the Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter. Grant takes the snap, gives right side. Brock Adams breaks to the outside, to the 20. He's got a blocker, cuts inside of that blocker at the 10. Flag flies down at the 16 as Kyler Wilson makes the tackle just shy of the end zone. Or was that Colton Hislop? No, it was Kyler, I believe, on the tackle. But that flag is going to be a hold penalty, I think, against Duchesne. Probably still enough for the first down, but bring it back from the goal line to about the 26-yard line, which was the line to gain, or I guess the 25. They'd be just short of the first down unless I'm wrong in what I'm assuming was the penalty. This first quarter is brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph. They're open late after every Rebel home game. It is a did he say block in the back? The spot of the foul was the flag dropped down at the 15. They'll walk it back to the 20.
So an illegal use of hands called.
Illegal use of hands.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, but it is still enough for a Duchesne first down.
So 10 yards on that penalty. Brock Adams
10, Duchesne.
From the 35 down to the 20. I think we'll give him actually 25 yards on that carry. Penalty takes away 10 of them. So 1st and 10, Duchesne at the right hash, 20-yard line of Rich. Davis takes the snap, gives running around the right side to Weston Gines. I think, no, that's Caleb Sanchez. He's ripped down out of bounds, and a flag flies. Kyler Wilson made the tackle for Rich, and a discussion about what this penalty is. Wilson may have had a little bit of excessive force after they were already out of bounds. It didn't look too excessive to me, but we'll see what it is. Personal foul face mask against Rich. Duchesne declines, second down. So Sanchez picked up a horse collar tackle. I misread the referee's indication of the penalty.
Second down.
A 4-yard gain to the 16-yard line for Sanchez. Davis takes the snap. Grant takes the snap, rolls to his left, gets out of 1 or 2 tackles, but then the Rebels beat him up. Back behind the line of scrimmage, it'll be a loss of a couple. Rich just strung the play out. Grant was trying to make maybe more out of
start of the second
less.
Quarter, Beaver leads Millard by the score of 21-0.
Update on a score, Beaver. You might have heard the PA man say Beaver leads Millard at the start of the second quarter, 21-0. That's a big one. If Beaver wins that game, Duchesne would likely jump over Millard into the 3 spot, and then what we'd see is Rich likely playing at Millard in the first round, the play-in round of the state playoffs. 3rd down and 7 for Duchesne. Take the snap. Grant fakes to the wing back and gives to Brock Adams up the middle. He drives forward inside the 15 to about the 13.
4th down and 4.
Adams takes it down to the, let's say, the 13-yard line. A gain of 5 brings up a 4th and 4. Brock Adams, 5 carries, 38 yards. Duchesne leads 35-0 on the station on main scoreboard, and Javier Baptista wants to attempt the field goal. This is a 31-yard field goal attempt. Baptista has the leg, and it is up and good on the left side through the uprights and in. A 31-yard field goal by Javier Baptista makes it 38-0 on the station on main scoreboard. That drive for Duchesne, 6 plays, started at their own 48-yard line, ended at the Rebel 13. So 52 minus 13 is 39 yards. Ends with a 31-yard field goal by Baptista. Makes it 38-0 on the station on main scoreboard. Again, a quick recap. Gavin Davis returned the opening kick for the score. Rebels had their first possession. Punt was blocked, recovered in the end zone by Duchesne, 14-0. Rebels went 3 and out. Gavin Davis returned the punt, 60 yards for the score. Rich fumbled. Duchesne took over. 1 play later, Case and Grant found Jordan Claiborne for the score. Rich, another 3 and out. Duchesne's next play, Caleb Sanchez, 55-yard touchdown run. Then Rich went 3 and out, and this last possession by Duchesne, 6 plays, 39 yards, and Javier Baptista kicks a 31-yard field goal. 38-0 with 46.5 seconds left in the first. That possession lasted 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Rebels receive the kick. Wilson runs to his left across the 30, hit at the 35 and knocked down. Best starting field position of the day for the Rich Rebels. We'll see if they can find some offense here late in the first quarter. Brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph, the place to eat and drink in Randolph. If you haven't tried their wraps, their burgers, their sandwiches, just about anything I've ever gotten there. I should say, let me rephrase that. Everything I've gotten there has been fantastic. Even the simple cheeseburger, the fresh buns, the fresh veggies, and it's just delicious food at the Crawford Trough in Randolph. Rebels with a man wide right, 1 wide left, 2 wing backs, and a man in behind. That's Colton Hislop behind Carrillo in the under center. Quick swing out to Kyler Wilson. He makes a man miss down the right sideline and finally hit out of bounds. A 5-yard gain as Wilson picked his way across the 40 to about the 43.
Knocked out of bounds at about the 40.
Actually, the 42, I think, is where they'll spot it.
41-yard
PA man said 46. That would be great. It would be a first down, but unfortunately, they spot it at the 41. A gain of 5. That little swing pass was open, and Wilson also made a man miss. Second reception of the game for Wilson, 13 yards. Carrillo has started this game 3 of 5 for 15 yards. So not a ton of production, but fairly efficient so far. No interceptions, knock on wood. Carrillo splits out to his left on the option. Pitches to Hislop, was a low, quick pitch, and Colton had to bobble it. Then he picks it up, drives forward, still on his feet, pushing across the 40, near the 45. He's finally progress stopped. Hislop was stopped about 2 or 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but he had some quick, fancy footwork to make a man miss, then drove forward, kept his feet, and got out to the 45-yard line. Takes us to the end of the first quarter. Hislop gaining 4, has 2 carries, 3 yards in this first quarter. Brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph. It's 38-0. Duchesne leads on the station on main scoreboard. With Natalie Perry.
This is Rich Rebel, senior, Colton Hislop. Thanks for tuning in to Rich High School Football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper. In today's world, with so many places to shop and so many options to choose from, sometimes you have to boil it down to one simple question: where do I get treated the best? At Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan, we work hard to make sure every customer knows how much we appreciate them. We love what we do, and we believe in the products we sell. Our goal is to build a lasting friendship with every customer so we can serve you and your family for generations. Visit us today, Cash Honda Yamaha, 3765 US 91, Hyde Park, Utah. $38-0 as we begin our second quarter. Brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Rebels with the football and a 3rd and short. Carrillo under center, drives forward. He's got the first down. Not much more, though. And it'll be close, but I think he did pick up a couple to near the 47, and that will move the chains. Comprehensive Family Dental first down for Riley Carrillo and this Rebel offense, their first down of the ball game. So Carrillo picks up 2.
Ball at their own 47-yard line, 1st and 10.
Riley, 6 yards on 2 carries, but has lost 25 yards. Rebels with minus 4 yards of offense in the first quarter. Duchesne with 129 yards of offense in the first quarter, plus a kick return and a punt return for scores. 38-0. Duchesne leads. Rebels, Carrillo throws out to the right side. Caught by Wilson. And he gets to the line of scrimmage before he's spun down.
Number 20, Wilson with the reception.
Able to fall forward.
Tristan Farnsworth with the tackle.
And Farnsworth tackles him at the 43-yard line. Excuse me, the 48. A gain of 1 on that pass and catch. A little dink and dump, and it's tough for Rich to do more than that. Anytime Carrillo wants to take more time back in the pocket, there isn't more time. We haven't seen him drop back a bunch this evening, but 3 sacks for loss of 25 yards, plus a bad snap, and Rich lost 10 on that play. Duchesne leads 38-0 on the station on main scoreboard in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Ball on the right hash for 2nd down and 9. Carrillo under center, I formation in the backfield with Wilson the tailback, Hislop the fullback. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Carrillo takes the snap. He's tackled as he hands to Wilson, who picks his way forward across the 50 and into Duchesne territory at the 47-yard line. They may spot it closer to the 48. But, boy, the blitz right up the middle got to Carrillo, and he barely was able to get that handoff to Kyler Wilson, who picked up 4 on the play. Kyler has a rushing touchdown and 3 receiving touchdowns this season. And looking to add to that total, but facing a 3rd down and 5 at the Duchesne 48-yard line. 1 receiver wide left, 1 wide right. Tight end on the right side with an I formation behind Carrillo under center. Duchesne showing pressure, then they back off, then they bring it as Carrillo gives to Wilson left side. He's got the first down, and he's hit hard right at the line to gain, but I think he picked up enough to move the chains for another comprehensive Family Dental first down. They spot Wilson down at the 42-yard line.
Ball at the Eagle 43.
Rich needed 5. Wilson picks up 6. He had a nice hole, a Saby Trucking offensive line hole on that left side. And that enabled Wilson to find some room. Colton Johnson, James McKinnon made a little bit of space on that left side to pick up the first down. Hislop, the lone man in the backfield, just offset right side behind Carrillo under center again. Long count. Riley takes the snap. Quick throw is incomplete. Silva cut in on a slant. Carrillo looked like he was throwing to about a 2-yard deeper type of slant. And the pass falls incomplete, fortunately for Rich. That was in the area where if Duchesne, the defender out there, reads it, it's Gavin Davis. If he reads that a little better, he can just step up, make the pick, and then he's got 60 yards of green in front of him for what would have been his third touchdown of the day. He's returned a kickoff and a punt for scores, and Duchesne leads 38-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 9:23 left in the second quarter. Rich with 2 comprehensive Family Dental first downs on this drive, facing a second down and 10. Wilson gets the handoff right side and drives forward, a gain of 1 or 2 to the 41. Brings up a third down and long. Wilson with 3 carries, 12 yards in the game.
For the Rebels.
Millard hosting Beaver tonight, and midway through the second quarter, it's Beaver on top 28-0. They're at Millard. Millard, for a while there, looked like the number 2 team in the state. RPI ranking most recently has them at number 3 behind Milford. And Duchesne coming into the night was just a 400th of a point behind Millard for that number 3 and 4 spot. Carrillo looks left, looks right, throws to his left, and it's intercepted. Brock Adams read it perfectly, and Carrillo threw it a bit low, right into the hands of Adams. Riley was looking to his right, threw back to his left, and Adams was right there. Defensive penetration plus that pass being a bit low. And that's maybe just an issue of spacing there for Rich. If the receiver goes a little bit further out wide away from the line, Adams might not have had quite the bead on
right at midfield.
The interception. Duchesne 1st and 10 at the 50, 8:28 left in the in the second quarter. Brought to you by T7 Propane and Woodruff. Give right side, Brock Adams inside Rebel territory, inside the 45 to the 43. A quick 6 or 7 yards just up the right side.
Second down and 4.
They'll spot him at the 44-yard line.
Ball at the Rebel.
Adams,
44-yard line.
4 carries, 44 yards in the game, came in averaging 7 yards per carry, 90 runs for 637 yards. That's excellent production from your fullback, and Adams just a junior. Caleb Sanchez, 9 yards per carry. Gavin Davis, 15.5 yards per carry. They've got a lot of guys who can hurt you at the skilled position, and that all goes down to, or a lot of that is hinges on how good the line play has been. Grant takes the snap, makes a man miss, heaves it deep down the field. He's got a man open in the middle of the field, and it's caught. Jordan Claiborne dances into the end zone for his second touchdown of the game. Kaysen Grant eludes the rush and then throws downfield for the 44-yard touchdown. Grant 2 for 2, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jordan Claiborne, the recipient on both of those touchdown passes. And Duchesne takes just 2 plays to score on this possession. Javier Baptista set to attempt the extra point with 7:28 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Kick is up, and it's good. We'll take a quick break and be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208.
Back at Duchesne, where the Eagles are dominating. They returned the opening kick 85 yards for a score, and haven't slowed down, haven't looked back. Duchesne has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possessions, and they've scored, what's that, 7 touchdowns? 6 touchdowns. They scored on a blocked punt they recovered in the end zone, plus the kick return, the punt return for scores. And that last drive, 2 plays, 50 yards, 1 minute off the clock. Kason Grant to Jordan Claiborne for the second time tonight. 7:28 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Rebels kept it close in the JV game, 12-0. They played a single half, and Rich had a chance to score at the end, just couldn't punch it in. Short kick, and Trey Walker, nope. Wilson has it on the left side, across the 30 to the 35, and
on his feet a long time.
Out near the 40-yard line.
38-yard line.
Looks like they'll spot it right around the 38. 1st and 10 for Rich. Well, Kason Grant has been efficient tonight. 2 for 2, 44-yard touchdown and a 25-yard touchdown. He's attempted 2 passes. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes. A cold night here in Duchesne. 42 degrees at kickoff.
Play, and it looks like the Eagles
ball ended up being on that kick return, a fumble, and Duchesne takes over. Rebels have fumbled it away twice and thrown 1 interception. And on top of the fact that Duchesne has returned a kick and a punt for a touchdown and recovered a punt in the end zone, Rich has turned it over 3 times, losing that turnover battle. One of your epic recreation keys of the game. Duchesne takes over 1st and 10 at the Rich 38-yard line. Give to Brock Adams, left side. Finds a little bit of room. No, that's Weston Gines on the carry, and the Rebels stand him up at about the 32-yard line. He'll pick up 4, maybe 5 yards. Weston Gines actually came in as the second leading ball carrier as far as rushing attempts. The sophomore came in with 53 carries, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns on 5 yards per carry, and picks up 5 on 1st down for the Eagles. To the Rebel 33-yard line. Make that the 32. Line of scrimmage was the 37. 2nd down and 5. Eagles leading 45-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 6:38 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Invite you to stay tuned for our Ellingford Brothers halftime show. We'll chat with one of the Rebel students, Natalie Perry. Snap and give around the right side. Caleb Sanchez tries to stop, slips down, and falls to his wallet. Flag flew in back about the 34. And if this is against Duchesne, we'll see if Rich elects to decline the penalty. It's a hold against the Eagles. If Rich accepts it, it would be a 2nd down and about 15. If they decline, it would have been 3rd and about 8. Rich does accept the hold.
10-yard penalty from the spot.
Duchesne has committed 3 penalties, 25 yards. 2nd down. The penalty took place 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so it takes them back to the 44. So actually, let me amend this. A 12-yard penalty against the Eagles. 2nd down and about 17 to go. 1 man wide left is Claiborne. Grant takes the snap, pitches out to the left side. Some room for Sanchez. Runs over 1 tackler and clear down back to the Rebel 36 or 31-yard line rather. That was actually Carson Sheets on the carry. And Carson came in with 7 carries for 38 yards. Picks up about 10 on that run. They spot him at the Rebel 32. So a 12-yard gain for Carson Sheets. 3rd down and 6. Had the Rebels accepted that penalty moments ago, of course, hindsight is 20/20, but it would have been 3rd and 8 or so. Under center, the tight formation, man in motion, give it to the wingback coming from the left side, and the Rebels wrap him up, hold him back, and pull him. Still no whistle. Finally it comes as 3, 4, 5 Rebels make sure the running back doesn't pick up anything more. Kason Grant still in there at quarterback. He's had a good start, and I'm sure we'll see Cameron Brady for most of the second half. I believe that was again Sheets on the carry. And they give him a yard of forward progress to the Rebel 31-yard line, where it's 4th down and 4, and Duchesne taking its time deciding what to do here. With under 5 minutes to go in the T7 Propane and Woodruff fourth quarter.
4th and 4 for the Eagles.
Duchesne comes out, ball on the left hash, again that tight formation in the pistol wing T offense. Grant under center, Rich showing some pressure. Grant takes the snap, back to throw. Pressure comes, it's a screen, throws out to his left. He's got Sanchez all alone, 30 to the 20 to the 25, or to the 15 rather. And finally the Rebels catch him and bring him down. And Caleb Sanchez followed his big blockers all the way down to the 15-yard line for another Duchesne Eagle first down. 16 yards. That's Kason Grant's first pass attempt that didn't result in a touchdown. But he's got 3 completions for 85 yards and 2 scores. Caleb Sanchez, 5 receptions, 94 yards coming in. That one goes for 16. He averages about 19 yards per reception. Most of those, I think, have been on screen passes. They like that screen, and they run it effectively. Sanchez, the wingback on the left side, with Gavin Davis, the wingback on the right. Davis in motion, fake the handoff to him. They get to Brock Adams up the middle, and Rich wraps him up quickly. James McKinnon, I believe,
gain on the play of a couple,
was the initial man with the hit. Maybe actually Bridger Weston. And the handoff went up the middle to Weston Gines. I said Adams. It was Gines who gets down to the Rebel 13. A gain of 2. Gines with 2 carries, 7 yards. Ball on the left hash for 2nd and 8. One man wide out to the right. Grant takes the snap, fakes the handoff one way, gives to Sanchez right side, and he cuts up the middle. Big hole on the right side, touchdown.
With the touchdown.
Caleb Sanchez goes 13 yards in for the score. Boy, that hole on the right side, monstrous. As the wingback coming from the right side gets the Rebel defense moving to their right, and then the run goes back the other direction, and Sanchez all by himself. He's got 3 carries for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. Baptista kicks it up and through, and Duchesne leads 52-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rich has had a little bit of offensive success, a couple of first downs, but each drive has either their last few possessions have ended in their last 2 an interception and a fumble. Meanwhile, Duchesne has scored each time it's had an opportunity to, including an 85-yard kickoff return on the opening kickoff. That last drive, 6 plays, 37 yards, and 3 minutes, 59 seconds off the clock. Extra point was good by Javier Baptista, who's 8 of 8. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? 8 of 8 on field goal opportunities. It's hard to imagine how this Duchesne team lost against Milford earlier this season. And I just want to look up real quick. I know the score was like 42-21, 46-21. Milford won that game. That tells you just how good of a team Milford is, because this Duchesne team looks to have no chinks in the armor. They are solid. 3:20 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. And Rich lined up to return to receive this kickoff. Again, the JV teams played a half, and Duchesne won that one 12-0. Rich had a touchdown late at the end of the game, but it was called back, and then they couldn't get it in, ran out of time. Baptista kicks it away. A short, low kick. Wilson fields it at the 14. Kyler right up the middle. Drops the ball, and looks like
Wilson
Duchesne recovered it.
Picked up by 26 Carson Sheets.
At the 28-yard line. The snowball just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. Last 3 possessions for Rich. An interception, a fumble on the kickoff, and then a fumble on the kickoff return again. So Duchesne takes over 1st and 10 at the Rebel 28-yard line. Second quarter, 3:10. That was a 10-second possession for Rich. Duchesne may send in, we'll see if Cameron Brady's in there at quarterback for this possession. Looks like he is. Some other younger guys in the ball game as well. And I'll keep an eye on who gets the football. Weston Gines looks like he's the fullback as Brady goes up under center. Cameron Brady wearing the short socks along with his short football pants. And he's got to call a timeout.
Timeout called by the Eagles.
As he was running out of time on the play clock. We'll take a quick timeout as well. 52-0 Duchesne on the Station on Main scoreboard.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Colton Hislop. Thanks for tuning in to Rich High School Football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208.
Well, Duchesne with a monstrous lead, 52-0. 3:10 left in the T7 Propane in Woodruff second quarter. On a cold night in Duchesne. And a trucker, that may be a former Duchesne Eagle right there, who knows. But whatever it was, he was honking as he drove past down Main Street here in Duchesne, Utah. 52-0 Eagles lead and have the football after the Rebels have fumbled it away on each of the past two kick returns. Brady turns, gives up the middle to Weston Gines, picks up a couple to the Rebel 25 before Rich stands him up and brings him down. Huffaker on the tackle. Gines picks up 4. Closer to 3. They'll spot it right at the 25-yard line. Ten yards on 3 carries so far for Weston Gines. Duchesne taking his time. It is Cameron Brady in at quarterback, 10 of 24, 42% completion percentage for 222 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. With Cason Grant's 2 touchdown passes tonight, he's got 8 touchdowns and 4 interceptions this season. Duchesne has never really been a team to air it out a whole lot, but wanting to have that passing game strong. Give up the middle again to Gines. Starts left, goes back right to near the 20.
It'll be third down and about 4 yards for the Eagles.
During our halftime show, we'll have some Rich County government first half highlights. And the Town of Woodruff Sandhouse student will be a sophomore, Natalie Perry, member of the Rich High School drill team, the Rebelettes. Looks like they spot Gines down at the 21. 4-yard gain, puts him at 14 yards on 4 carries. Ball in the middle of the field for third down and 3. Eagles leading 52-0. Time winding down in the T7 Propane in Woodruff second quarter. Brady takes the snap, fakes to Gines. No, he did give to Gines up the middle, and the Rebels wrap him up. Riley Taylor and Bridger Weston, I believe.
Farnsworth, the ball carrier.
And that was actually Tristan Farnsworth on the carry.
It'll be fourth down for the Eagles.
And he loses a pair of yards. The Rebel defense wraps him up in the backfield. Back to the 23. 4th down and 6. And looks like Baptista will come back in for the field goal attempt. And the holder is at the 30-yard line. So a 40-yard field goal attempt by Javier Baptista. He kicked one from 31 earlier. This one is a low-line drive. It had the distance, though, but missed wide left.
Looked like it had plenty of distance, just wide. So
Rich defense forces Duchesne into a 3 and missed field goal, and Rich will take over. 1st and 10 from, I believe, the 23-yard line. Or they spotted it at the 20 on a missed field goal. Second quarter. 51.5 seconds left in this T7 Propane in Woodruff second quarter. Duchesne scored a 85-yard touchdown return on the opening kickoff by Gavin Davis. He also returned a punt for a score. The Eagles recovered a blocked punt in the end zone. They had scored 21 points without running an offensive play from scrimmage and have poured it on to a 52-0 lead. 2 receivers right, 1 left, and a man in motion is Kyler Wilson from left to right. Carrillo gives up the middle, big hole. Colton Hislop, left side, breaks a tackle, first down and more to the 40. Finally hit down, and a big gain of about 20 yards for Colton Hislop on first down. Moves the chains with a comprehensive family dental first down. Colton Hislop with his biggest gain of the season, 20 yards. He's got 3 carries for 23 yards. Milford on top of Pero on 13-0 at the half. And last we heard, Beaver led Millard 28-0 midway through the second quarter. 1st and 10 for Rich at their own 40 after that comprehensive family dental first down run by Colton Hislop. Quick throw out to the left side, and either Silva wasn't ready for it or Wilson wasn't looking for it. It falls incomplete.
Wilson and Guerrero.
Carrillo, 4 of 9, or Greer was on that left side, maybe an intended receiver.
We're in the vicinity.
Pass falls incomplete, stops the clock at 22.5 seconds left.
2nd down 10.
The T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Carrillo, 4 of 9, 16 yards with a pick in this first half. Greer out wide to the right. I formation behind Carrillo under center. 1 man on the right side in the slot. Riley takes the snap, fakes the handoff right, throws left. Wilson makes the catch in the left flat, ducks
Wilson
out of bounds, and a late
reception
flag
and a flag
flies
on
with 15.8 seconds left in this first half. That stopped the clock. Wilson picked up a couple to about the 42, but then we'll see what the flag that flew, we'll see what that gives us. It would be a 3rd and about 8. But the flag may help things out. It would help things out if it's against Duchesne. I didn't see Wilson get hit out there. May have been a sideline warning or something to that effect. A long discussion between the officials. Referee discussing with his line judge that threw the flag from the Rebel sideline. That's the far sideline here at Duchesne High School. Referee comes over and indicates
personal foul called
against the Eagles. Foul, illegal use of the hands against Duchesne. That's the 2nd time in this game they've been called for that same thing.
A 15-yard
penalty. Excuse me. Gives Rich a first down.
The Eagle 43-yard line.
At Duchesne's 43. So 2 yards plus the penalty. Costly mistake for the Eagles. Well, it could be. 16 seconds left to go in the first half. Carrillo back looking to throw. Heaves deep down the middle of the field. He was looking for Huffaker and overthrew him. Incomplete. 3 Rebel receivers in the vicinity.
The intended receiver on the play. Incomplete.
But it falls incomplete with 9.3 seconds left to go. A 2nd and 10 for the Rebel offense. Rich trails 52-0 on the station on main scoreboard. 9.3 seconds left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Duchesne jumped out to an early lead. They've scored on each possession and more. Forced 4 Rebel turnovers in the first half and have been almost untouchable. Man in motion. Carrillo takes the snap. Quick give right up the gut. Hislop around the left side. He breaks free to the 20. Down the left sideline to the 15-yard line. Finally brought down with 1 second left to go. Does Coach Grohl call a timeout and let Rich try to put one on the board? We'll see. Colton Hislop with a nice run. Big Saby trucking offensive line hole right up the middle. Brought to you by Scott and Diana Saby. Rebels ask for and get the timeout with 0.4 seconds left to go. They may add a second or two onto that. Looks like the ball spotted at the 11-yard line. So Hislop had a 20-yard gain earlier on this drive. That run goes for 32 yards and brings his total to 55 yards on 4 carries. Hislop, by far, that's his best rushing game of the season. takes us to a timeout. We'll keep it right here. And, John, I know your hands are freezing, but can we do a quick, well, maybe not. I was too slow. I wanted to do a quick Bear Lake Realty fan cam, but the Rebels getting back out onto the field now, so we'll just mention real quickly, BearLakeRealty.com. Gary McKee in Garden City is the most experienced and highest volume realtor in the Bear Lake Valley. All right, let's get back to the game cam. Again, our camera is sponsored by Bear Lake Realty. 1 second left in the first half, and Rich looking to score, put something on the board before the half. Carrillo takes the snap, gives to Hislop, same play left side, nowhere to go. Upended and brought down after a short gain, takes us to the half. Farnsworth on the tackle for Duchesne, which leads 52-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. This second quarter has been brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Stay tuned. The Ellingford Brothers halftime report coming up after this on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on MyLocalRadio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, the Wilson Ranch in Randolph. Good luck, Rebels, from Dale, Kim, Kyler, and Casey. Remember, the harder you work, the more good luck you'll have. And by Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply, a custom shop specializing in leather and wood goods with a farm feed and supply store to boot. Proudly supporting the Rich Rebels, the Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply Store.
Is it time to stop wishing for your dream home in beautiful Bear Lake? If you're ready to make your dream a reality, Bear Lake Realty can help. With residential and land listings, including vacation properties, timeshares, cabins, condos, beachfront, lake view, and more, Bear Lake Realty has what you're looking for. And with more than 30 years of real estate experience in the area, you know you're working with the best. Visit BearLakeRealty.com and come and enjoy the Caribbean of the Rockies with us.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home to the Rich Rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the Rich Rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net. Welcome back to Duchesne and tonight's halftime show brought to you by Ellingford Brothers of Evanston. Visit ellingfordbros.com. The best in specialized services, including construction, steel fabrication, sand and gravel, and more. That's ellingfordbros.com. Rebel volleyball team went 6-0 today in sets against Millard, South Sevier, and Milford. The Duchesne Eagle football team tonight went about 8-0 on possessions and touchdowns scored in that first half. 52-0 at the half. Duchesne leads the Rich Rebels. Stay tuned to more of the Ellingford Brothers halftime show coming up, including some first half highlights brought to you by Rich County, Rebels with a championship cause. We'll also have the Town of Woodruff standout student when we return. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
The best cement comes from Ellingford Brothers in Evanston. They've been mixing cement for every type of job for generations. Major construction, road and bridge, cement blocks, foundations, sidewalks, curb and gutter, cement steps, septic tanks, and water troughs. No job is too large or too small. Make sure you get the best quality cement available at the best prices. Always get your cement from Ellingford Brothers. Call today. Ellingford Brothers. We know cement. 307-789-1515.
Success is no accident. It comes from constant hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and learning from failure. Laketown Mayor Burdette Weston and council members Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White encourage the Rich High Rebels to continue to do whatever it takes to succeed in academics, activities, and athletics. The town council and citizens of Laketown celebrate the success of all the students and staff in the Rich School District.
Back on the Ellingford Brothers of Evanston halftime show. Ellingford Brothers, the best in specialized services. They can do construction, all kinds of custom projects, custom steel fabrication. They've got sand, gravel, and so much more. Visit ellingfordbros.com to learn more about what Ellingford Brothers has to offer. Ellingford Brothers of Evanston, it's 52-0 at the half. Duchesne with a monstrous lead. I'll give you a recap of how it got there in just a moment. But first, Duchesne, not a tremendous amount of offense, although they've been extremely efficient on offense. Cason Grant has attempted 3 passes in the first half, went 3 for 3. His first 2 passing attempts went for touchdowns of 25 and 44 yards. And then his third passing attempt, a 16-yard reception. So he was sacked 1 time for a loss of 2. Other than that, though, boy, Caleb Sanchez, 3 carries, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brock Adams, 6 carries, 44 yards. Gavin Davis, 1 carry for 9 yards, but Davis has a kick return for a score of 85 yards and a punt return of 60 yards for a score as Duchesne leads big 52-0 at the half. These first half highlights are brought to you by Rich County Government, Rebels with a championship cause. The Rebels offensively, well, let me go back. Duchesne with 150 rushing yards, 85 passing yards unofficially. The Rebels with 66 yards of offense in that first half, and a big chunk of that came in the second quarter, late in the quarter, as Colton Hislop started to find some room rushing the football. Hislop had 2 carries for 3 yards and then gained 52 yards on 2 carries of 20 and 32 yards apiece right near the end of the first half. So the Rebels finished with 48 rushing yards, 18 passing yards, and Carrillo was sacked 4 times for minus 25 yards in that first half. Now to recap the scoring for you real quick, it wasn't pretty. Rebels kicked off, and Duchesne's Gavin Davis took the opening kick 85 yards back for the score. Rebels' first possession ended in a punt, which Duchesne blocked, recovered in the end zone. That made it 14-0. Javier Baptista 8 for 8 on field goal or extra point opportunities in this game. The Rebels' next possession, 3 and out, punted, and Davis returned it 60 yards for the score, 21-0. Rich then fumbled, and 1 play later, Cason Grant found Jordan Claiborne 25 yards for the score, 28-0. Rich 3 and out. Next play, Caleb Sanchez, a 55-yard touchdown run, made it 35-0. A Rich 3 and out was followed by Duchesne's 6-play, 39-yard drive, which was capped off by a 31-yard field goal from Javier Baptista to make it 38-0. Rebels' next possession ended in an interception, and Duchesne capitalized with a 2-play, 50-yard drive. Cason Grant threw it to Jordan Claiborne for the 44-yard touchdown pass to make it 45-0. Rebels fumbled on the kickoff return, and Duchesne took advantage. Another 13-yard touchdown run by Caleb Sanchez was his second touchdown run of the day, and that made it 52-0. Again, Rich fumbled on the kick return. Duchesne, though, couldn't take advantage. They made a short drive and then attempted a 40-yard field goal, which missed just wide left, the only kick that Javier Baptista has missed so far tonight. Rebels' next possession was going well but ran out of time. Rich got all the way down to the 10-yard line of Duchesne, but with just 1 second left, couldn't get it into the end zone, and that took us to the end of the first half with Duchesne leading 52-0 on the station on main scoreboard. It is senior night here at Duchesne, and I'll mention all the seniors in a bit, but first, let's move on. This first half highlights have been brought to you by Rich County Government, Rebels with a championship cause. We've got the town of Woodruff standout student when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. When you enter the city limits of the town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabian, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Ken Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, welcome you and say,
Go Rich Rebels!
Every excavation project requires the professionals, the equipment, and the strategy to get the job done right. J-Bar Excavation in Randolph, Utah has the team, the tools, and the plan to execute every phase of your project to create exactly what you're looking for. They have the machinery and the experience to provide quality work that fits your schedule and your budget. Call them today, 435-793-5855. J-Bar Excavation, 90 North Main, Randolph. With Natalie Perry, a sophomore at Rich High School. Natalie, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, of course.
How's your sophomore year going?
Pretty good.
Okay, tell me more. Pretty good?
Same as always, and nothing special.
All right, you're on the drill team, so let's talk about that first. How's the drill team going?
Actually, really good. It's been different this year, though. We have a smaller team.
You did it last year as a freshman?
Yes, I did.
Let's talk about last year a little bit. How did you feel like the team did? How did the year go?
It was intense last year compared to this year, and I feel like we really pulled out good with third, but we'll see how we go this year being 2A.
So last year was more intense. Do you think the intensity will ratchet up as you get closer to region and state competitions?
Yes, it definitely will.
Was that the trend last year, kind of fun and relaxed a little bit through the fall, and then you get serious at wintertime?
Yes, it was.
I understand you guys have a few more competitions this year, too. Do you know when those get going?
December through February.
Is that something you're looking forward to?
It's stressful, but it's my favorite part of drill. So
The competition is your favorite part?
yes, it is.
Better than performing at football halftime or basketball halftime?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot better.
Why is that your favorite?
Just because there's bigger crowds and that you can watch other schools perform as well.
You like performing in front of people?
Yes.
You like to hear the cheers?
Uh-huh.
What about the judges? Do you like that?
They're intimidating if you can see them, but most of the time you're just looking over their heads, so it's not that bad.
Do you have that in the back of your mind, though, when you're being judged? Is that something you're thinking about?
Yes, all the time. Just they're staring at you the whole dance, so.
Had you danced before last year as a freshman?
Yes, I was on a competitive dance team.
In Rich County?
Yeah, I was in Garden City.
What does that look like, a competitive dance team prior to high school? What did you travel around and compete, or how was that?
Yeah, we did lots of competitions in Idaho. It's a lot different than drill, though.
Different how?
It wasn't really the same like genres of dancing and not as much like cleaning and lines. We just kind of were like free, I guess.
Are there advantages to both what you're doing with drill now and the prior experience, more freedom?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you like better about drill at Rich High?
I like the team. Like I go to school with them and I see them a lot more and it's funner.
What numbers are you a part of with the team this year? Like hip hop, dance, character, and I can't remember the other.
I'm in all of them, all 5 of them.
You have a favorite?
Competitive, definitely character, and then not competitive hip hop.
What's the character dance this year? Like, do you wear costumes or what is it?
It is Diner Girls, 50s Diner Girls this year. It's going to be fun.
Have you performed that one yet?
No, we just barely learned it like 2 weeks ago, so.
You had a big smile on your face when you said the Diner Girls. You don't wear skates, though, do you?
No, we don't. I wish.
What do you like about it?
I just think it's really cute, and the dance is super fun, and it's like sassy, and it's more my style, I guess.
So let's get back to your sophomore year. You said it's going good. What classes are you taking?
Just the regular classes, and I have choir and computer science.
So you're dancing on the drill team. You're singing in the choir. Anything else you're involved with at Rich High?
I'm going to do musical and golf.
Do you know what the musical is going to be? Has he settled on that yet?
I've heard Camp Rock, but he hasn't really settled on anything.
Do you know anything about Camp Rock?
I watched it when I was a kid, but that's about it.
Was it like a TV show, or what do you mean you watched it?
It's a Disney movie. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that based on the movie? Are you excited at the idea of doing that for a play here?
Yeah, I think it'd be really fun.
And golf, how did things go last year as a freshman?
It was really good. I was the only freshman who went to state, and we took state, so it was really fun there.
You guys have realistic goals of taking state again this year?
I hope. We'll see, though.
Got some shoes to fill?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Natalie, how about let's go back to academic type stuff. Have you thought, I know you're a sophomore, so maybe this is looking too far in the future, but have you thought about after Rich High School, what are you doing?
I want to go to college and become a teacher for middle school.
So did you have a middle school teacher who influenced you a lot, or what prompts you to want to do that?
Well, my aunt is Heidi Weston, the math middle school teacher, and I really like her, and I loved math then, so I think it'd be fun to do math in middle school.
Who doesn't like Heidi Weston?
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what college you want to go to and what that path will look like to become a teacher?
I want to either go to SUU or like out of state in California somewhere.
Okay, so I was expecting maybe Utah State, but you want to go either down south, a little bit warmer, or California. What makes you want to go to one of those places?
A lot of my friends are from San Diego, and so San Diego State, and I would love to golf there, but that'd be
That's a big goal. Okay. Anything else we should know about you? Other hobbies you have? You like to ride horses, snowmobile, or snowboard, or anything?
No, not really. Just
Any instruments?
Nope.
Natalie Perry, a sophomore, member of the Rich High drill team, golf team. You're going to do the musical. Good luck with the rest of your sophomore year. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Natalie. This has been the Town of Woodruff standout student. And we're getting ready for the Town of Randolph third quarter here on senior night. 18 seniors on this Duchesne Eagles football team. That's almost as many players as the Rebels have total. And Duchesne leads 52-0 at the half. Your Ellingford Brothers halftime report continues right after the break on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and for the third year in a row, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 100 for quality as well as best practices and critical access, with a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. So, when it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
When you want something custom built for your home, farm and ranch, vehicle, or trailer, it needs to be done with precision, be strong, and be affordable. Get all this and more when you work with the Steel Shop at Ellingford Brothers. You bring the plan or idea, and they'll make it a reality. The Steel Shop sells and installs vehicle accessories like bull bars, running boards, and bed liners. They also specialize in truck and trailer hitches as well. Get it built to last. Ellingford Brothers, 221 County Road in Evanston.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on MyLocalRadio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, LSR Refrigerated, and the Walletines in Garden City. Darren, Tricia, and the entire Walletine clan wish the Rebels good luck. And by CAD Answer Technical Services, proudly supporting the Rich Rebels. The staff at CAD Answer Technical Services wish the Rebels good luck on the field, on the court, in the classroom, and in life.
Go Rich Rebels!
A rough first half for the Rich Rebels, and things went about as well as you could ever hope for them to go for the Duchesne Eagles in that first half. 52-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Duchesne had one possession that didn't end in points. That ended in a missed 40-yard field goal, but they returned a kick for a score. They blocked a punt, recovered it in the end zone, returned a punt for a score, forced 4 Rebel turnovers, 3 fumbles, and 1 interception, and the Eagles lead big on senior night at home, 52-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Let's look back real quick at the Epic Recreation keys of the game. Play aggressive, limit turnovers, execute consistently. Whether the aggressiveness has been there or not, the Rebels have not limited turnovers, 4 of them in the first half, and they have not executed consistently. We saw Rich execute there toward the end of the first half as Colton Hislop had a couple of carries that put Rich in scoring position, but then the Rebels ran out of time and couldn't punch one in. Rich will get it to start the second half. John, Scott, thanks so much for being up. You want some gloves, man? Are you sure? All right. Got some hand warmers? That's smart. Good idea. The Rebels will get this second half kickoff and try to make something happen. In the JV game, Rich lost 12-0. That was a half of a JV game. And Rich will return home next week for the final game of the regular season, hosting the Monticello Buckaroos. Monticello in action tonight, hosting Layton Christian Academy. Again, it's Beaver at Millard, and Beaver was up at the half. Enterprise at Kanab. Parowan was trailing Milford at the half. And Gunnison Valley plays at North Sevier tonight. Those are your other games going on tonight. Duchesne at the top of the 2A North, Beaver, Milford, and Millard the top three in the 2A South. And with Beaver leading Millard, if they hold on there, that would drop Millard down further. 34 degrees is the current temperature as Duchesne gets set to kick off to start this third quarter, brought to you by the town of Randolph. Our halftime show was presented by Ellingford Brothers of Evanston, the best in specialized services. Visit ellingfordbros.com. One bounce, and Hislop picks it up. Or no, that's Huffaker at the 12. Runs to his left, finds a little hole, a small lane, and darts forward across the 25 to about the 28. So Rich will start with decent field position at their own 28-yard line.
29-yard line, first down.
Third quarter, again, is brought to you by the town of Randolph. Rebels looking for that pro physical therapy touchdown. If they get it, it'll be brought to you by physical therapist Dr. Dallas Clark. Extra points are brought to you by Rich County 4-H, empowering young people with the skills to lead for a lifetime. Rich actually spotted that at the 29-yard line, so a 1st and 10. Carrillo takes the snap. Option, pulls the ball out, then tosses it over for Kyler Wilson. He was open, but the throw was high. Carrillo had to toss it a bit high to get it over the defense that was coming in hot. And that's a run-pass option where Carrillo can run it. He looks for the receiver downfield, and in this case, that receiver was covered. Wilson was open, but the pass just not quite on target. Carrillo 5 of 12 for 18 yards and a pick in the first half. Make it 5 of 11 in the first half. He's now 5 of 12 after that incompletion. Ball on the left hash for 2nd and 10. Rebels trailing 52-0 on the station on main scoreboard. Carrillo gives up the gut, and Hislop continues to run harder. Is that Wilson this time out near the 34 to the 35-yard line? And I think it was Hislop on the carry for a gain of 5. We'll spot him just shy of the 35.
A long 4 for the Rebels.
So actually a 3rd and 4. 6-yard gain gives Hislop 6 carries for 62 yards. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Huffaker in motion from right to left, and Hislop gets the handoff. Running left, tries to cut upfield, dives back to the line of scrimmage about the 30, maybe got to the 31. If anything, maybe a half a yard. And Rich will be forced into a punting situation. Trailing 52-0 on the station on main scoreboard, and a little bit of a breeze picking up. And it's a cold breeze. No gain for Hislop on that carry. Rich facing 4th down and 4, lines up to punt it away. Huffaker back at his own 23, fields the snap, boots it away, low line drive. Again, trying to keep it, doing everything he could to keep it away from Gavin Davis, but it wasn't Davis back to return. It was Garrett Fabrizio, a sophomore. Huffaker's punt goes across midfield and out of bounds on the Eagles' sideline at about the 45-yard line, where Duchesne will take over 1st and 10. The Eagles, again, all kinds of offensive success. They only ran about 10 plays from scrimmage and had 235 yards of offense. Returned a kick and a punt for scores, and blocked a Rebel punt in the end zone and recovered it for the touchdown. 1st and 10 from its own 44-yard line. Duchesne up to the line of scrimmage with a running clock. 9.5 left in the town of Randolph third quarter. JV team in there for Duchesne, and they take the snap, give it around the right side. Up the middle, bounces it outside, across midfield to the 50, down the right sideline to the 40. He's hit hard. Ball pops loose out of bounds, but I think the running back was out of bounds, so it will remain with the Eagles. Ethan Park on the carry.
Stepped out at the 45-yard line. It'll be
and they'll say he stepped out at the 30 or the 45 of Rich.
Crew for this year, this season.
So that's an 11-yard gain.
Marty Herrera, Troy Thompson, Lane Lisenby, and Jesse Farnsworth. Thanks
for Ethan Park. Park, number 34, a sophomore, came in with 14 carries or 14 tackles on defense, but not a lot of varsity carries. The snap and give the other direction, coming to the near sideline, but the Rebels stuff it in the backfield, nowhere to go. Good containment out on the outside, and then Huffaker made the tackle. Carson Sheets with not much of a gain, actually lost a couple back to the 47. Sheets with 3 carries for 11 yards on the play.
BTV Channel 6 for all of their coverage of our home games this year. Make it possible for people to watch all over the country.
As you may have just heard from the PA man, V6 Media here covering the game as well. There are some partners that we've worked with at times from the Vernal area. Good group of guys, good group of folks, and pleasure to work with them at times. Doing a separate broadcast tonight from Duchesne, which Duchesne leads 52-0. Give right up the middle, and the Rebels wrap it up and stuff it. James McKinnon wraps up the running back and doesn't let him go anywhere. I believe it was Weston Gines who picked up 2 to the 45. We'll give Gines the 2-yard gain. Not sure if that is indeed who was the ball carrier among the massive bodies. I couldn't quite see who carried the football, but it was a short gain. I believe our quarterback is it Garrett Fabrizio? He's been running the plays in, and yeah, it is Fabrizio lining up at QB. One man behind him. That tight wingback formation. One receiver wide left. Fabrizio takes a snap, running to his left. Quarterback keeper all the way. He's got a blocker to the 40, and then he's wrapped up and spun down very close to the first down marker, the yard to gain. Stetson Huffaker just wrapped him up and ripped him to the ground. Boy, somebody's smoking over here. That stinks.
Gain of 9 on the play. It'll be 4th and 1.
A 9-yard gain for Fabrizio to the Rebel 36-yard line. 9 yards for Fabrizio. On his first carry. Duchesne looking to go for it here on 4th and a yard at the Rebel 36-yard line. Fabrizio takes the snap, turns, quick give, and big hole, but a whistle blows it dead. The Rebels had stopped, and it looks like an encroachment and offsides against Rich.
That's a 5-yard penalty.
We'll give Duchesne the first down. Just the Rebels' second penalty of the game. Pushes it down to the 31 of Rich. Duchesne leading 52-0. They returned the opening kick, 85 yards for a score. That was Gavin Davis, who coming into the game had scored a touchdown every third time he touched the ball. He touched it 3 times tonight and scored 2 touchdowns as he returned a punt for a score as well. 1st and 10, Duchesne Eagles, following that encroachment against the Rebel defense. Fabrizio under center. Takes the snap, turns, gives left side to the fullback, straight ahead. Tristan Farnsworth inside the Rebel 25 to the 23-yard line. Farnsworth had 1 carry for a loss of 2 in the first half and picks up 8 on that carry to make it 2nd and 2. I feel my hands starting to shake a little bit. I'm getting kind of cold. It's down to freezing temperatures here in Duchesne. You can definitely see the breath. And we're up on top of the press box. No room inside the press box with the scorekeepers and coaches and other media personnel here tonight. Ball on the left hash for 2nd and 8. Duchesne leading 52-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Running clock with time winding down in the town of Randolph, 3rd quarter. Fabrizio takes the snap and whistles. A delay of game is what we might have. A false start.
Against the Eagles.
The referee from behind the line of scrimmage calls it against Duchesne. There's a man on the left side that I've seen. It looks like he's moved a couple of times too early, and this time got called for it. 5th penalty of the game against Duchesne for 47 yards.
2nd down.
Pushes them back to the 28-yard line. Excuse me. They picked up a first down moments ago on a Rebel offsides penalty. Rebel volleyball team today, a good day. They beat Millard in 2. They beat South Sevier in 2 and took down Milford in 2 as well. Rich will get things going first thing in the morning against Panguitch at 8:30. We'll have a pregame going about 15 minutes before that right here on KDQ and mylocalradio.com. Snap and give to the wingback from the right side. He comes around to the left, and it's Carson Sheets to the Rebel 21. He comes around from the right side and then cuts straight up the middle, following his blockers for a gain of about 7 yards.
Third down and
They'll spot him at the 22, which was a 6-yard gain for Sheets. A third and very short. They need about the 21. Not quite the 21 to move the chains. It's third and less than half a yard for the Duchesne Eagles. Fabrizio to the sideline, comes back, brings the play in. 52-0, Duchesne leads. They scored 52 in the first half, and neither team has scored so far here in the town of Randolph third quarter. Rebels looking for a big defensive stop. Here's Fabrizio, goes under center. Wingback left, wingback right, and Sheets, or one man in the backfield, Weston Gines. Rebels get tons of pressure and bring Farnsworth down in the backfield at the 25. Is that Farnsworth or was it Fabrizio still with the ball? Either way, it's a loss of 3 to the 25. Rebel defense does its job on that play. And the Eagles face a 4th and 4, a loss of 3. Excuse me. Ball in the left hash as Rich looks for its first defensive stop of the day. I guess they got one earlier in the second quarter when they held Duchesne at the 23-yard line, and the Eagles attempted a 40-yard field goal, missed it wide left. 4th down and 4. This is the JV team, essentially, for the Eagles in the football game. Farnsworth, the fullback, wingbacks on the left and right. Man goes in motion. That's Fabrizio. Gives a hard count. Rebels didn't jump. That man in motion was Ethan Park. Fabrizio looks back to the sideline. The line judge counting down and pulled out the flag, waved it around. But did Duchesne take a timeout? No, it was a delay of game. Unless they got a timeout first.
5-yard penalty remains 4th down.
The Eagles did not. 52 yards on 6 penalties against the Eagles. Brings up a 4th and 9 for Duchesne's offense. Fabrizio back in there to run the play. Clock continues to run. 1:45 left in the town of Randolph third quarter, with Duchesne leading 52-0. Again, Rebel volleyball tomorrow morning. You can tune in right here on mylocalradio.com. Our pregame coverage will start at 8:30 as the Rebels take on Panguitch. First thing in the morning at the Sevier Valley Center. You can listen live online on KADQ FM 98.3 as well. Another false start as the Eagle, that left man, it's either the tight end or the left tackle, has moved early at least 3 or 4 times. They've called it on him at a couple. That's the second false start of this drive.
Against the Eagles, a 5-yard
and
penalty
Duchesne
remains
moving
down.
itself back. They went back to the 30. Now back to the 35 for 4th down and 14. And the Eagles with a 52-0 lead. No hesitation to just go for it here. Fabrizio under center. One man wide left. That's the short side of the field as Duchesne attacks right to left at mylocalradio.com. Snap and a give to Park. Ethan around the right side. Breaks a tackle. Spins away from another. Very close to a first down. Eagles pushing one way. The Rebels pushing the other to try and keep Park from picking up the first down. Line judges coming in from the sideline at the 23 or the 22. That would be just short of moving the chains and would give it to Rich on a turnover on downs, if indeed that's where they spot it. And they do. First down, Rebels. Rebels stop Park just short of the first down at the 22-yard line. Park did just about everything he had to a 13-yard gain, but it wasn't quite enough. And the Rebels force a turnover on downs. Rich had 5 turnovers in the first half, plus a blocked punt that was recovered in the end zone for a Duchesne touchdown. Rebels from their own 22-yard line. About 30 seconds left to go. That drive by Duchesne, 9 minutes off the clock, yields no points. Carrillo takes the snap, looks, throws downfield, and stepping in front to knock it away on the left side, or on this near sideline. was
knocked away by number 18, Charles Lindsay.
It pass intended for Jaden Grohl. And fortunately for Rich, it falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10. That was, again, that run pass option, and Carrillo threw it downfield. Takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter. A quick Town of Randolph 3rd quarter. Good luck from the mayor, board members, and clerk. Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter coming up when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home. Home to the rich rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the rich rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
When shopping for a vehicle, it's important to have a good selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. It's also important to have a knowledgeable salesperson that listens, a finance team that helps you get the payment that matches your pocketbook, and a smart office staff that makes sure all the paperwork is done right. You can always rest assured knowing that our whole team is working for you. Auto Farm Chevrolet. Stop in today. We're a community-driven dealer.
Rich with just 6 yards of offense in that 3rd quarter, mostly because Duchesne possessed the ball for close to 10 minutes of the 3rd quarter. It's a running clock. Rich has it, 2nd and 10 to start the 4th. Carrillo runs left, throws back to his runs right, throws back to his left. Connor Greer makes the catch and breaks a tackle at midfield to the 45. Finally wrapped up at the 40 and brought down. A big 1st down for the Rebel offense. Carrillo to Greer. Connor Greer with his 3rd reception of the season, and that's a big one. From the 22, that's 28 plus 9 is 37 yards on that pass and catch. Greer had, my mistake, had 4 receptions prior to that catch. Brings up a 1st and 10, a comprehensive family dental 1st down for the Rebels. Give up the gut. Wilson has some room up the middle, spins to the 30, hit and dropped at the 25. Will give the Rebels another comprehensive family dental 1st down. Big Saby trucking hole, the offensive line hole right up the middle. 16 yards and a 1st down for Kyler Wilson. Rebels finding some success offensively. Tonight's game is also brought to you by The Store. Clothes and more in the Monkey Shine Strip Mall next to Monkey Shine's Laundromat. 1st and 10, Rebels at the 25-yard line of Duchesne after that comprehensive family dental 1st down. Wilson in motion. Hislop gets the handoff. Nothing up the middle. Tries to bounce it out to the right and is brought down in the backfield for a loss.
And the remaining of our sponsors: Black Pearl, Chuck's Meat, Frontier Grill, Mortensen Family.
Make sure to stay tuned for our Epic Recreation postgame show. We'll have the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap, Stacy's Repair postgame diagnostics, chat with Coach Justin Grohl, and the Western Ag Credit Roundup calendar as well. Hislop brought down for a loss of 2. Has 8 carries for 60 yards in the game. Back at the 27-yard line, 2nd down and 12, Rebel offense with 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Hislop alone in the backfield behind Carrillo under center. Ball right in the middle of the field. Riley steps back, looks to throw. Pressure comes, and he is sandwiched and brought down. No time, no room, and nothing to do with it. Back to the 31-yard line.
Be 3rd down and long for
a loss of 4. The 5th sack of the game on Riley Carrillo. Technically, one of those was a low snap that he just went back and dove on to avoid any further issues. 52-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Under 9.5 left in the Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter. Rebels still looking for their first pro physical therapy touchdown of the night, and they've got a long ways to try and get there on a 3rd and 16 at the Duchesne 31-yard line. I formation behind, behind Carrillo. Pitch right side. Wilson has it, and he's wrapped up and brought down. Couldn't get away. Got to make that one-man miss, and he couldn't do it out on the right sideline. May have been a loss of a couple more to make it 4th down and about 18. Looks like they'll spot it at the 33 and say just a loss. Yeah, it is a loss of 2. Wilson, prior to that loss, had 4 carries for 28 yards. Make it 5 for 26. That's still 5+ yards per carry, a good average for Kyler tonight. But Rich trails 52-0, 8.5 left to go, and Rich going forward on 4th and 18. Make it 4th and 17. And Rebels on this near sideline move.
False start.
A false start will push them back.
The offense, 5-yard penalty remains 4th down.
Duchesne, Gavin Davis took the opening kick 85 yards back for the score, and the Eagles never looked back. They recovered a blocked punt in the end zone, returned a punt for a score. Case and Grant found Jordan Claiborne on his first 2 pass attempts for a 25-yard and a 44-yard touchdown, and Duchesne led 52-0 at the half. Rebels facing a 4th and 21, make it 22, have Carrillo in the shotgun. He drops back, looking to throw. Steps forward, down the middle of the field. He's got Flint Silva in and out of his hands at the 5. Defense was right there on him, and Flint just couldn't hang on to the pass.
Number 14, Garrett Fabrizio.
Carrillo 6 of 15 for 55 yards and a pick in this game. And that incompletion leads to a Rebel turnover on down. So Duchesne with 7:35 left in the ball game. This Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter takes over 1st and 10 at the Rebel, or at their own 37-yard line. The Eagles have dominated from start to finish tonight. Will improve to 8-1 on the season. Rebels will drop to 0-7 ahead of next week's season finale, the senior night final game of the regular season at Rich against Monticello Friday afternoon at Rich High School next Friday. Here's the snap. Fabrizio gives right side, and the Rebels bottle it up. And Weston Gines picks up minimal yardage, maybe 2 to the 44. Looks like they'll add a little bit more to the 40. I said 44. It was line of scrimmage was the 37. So out to the 40 is a 3-yard gain for Weston Gines. 6 carries, 19 yards in this ball game for Gines. Again, a running clock here in this Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter. We'll get you the make sure to stay tuned in our post-game show. We'll tell you the McKay Frankham Dental Services precision play of the game. Fabrizio takes the snap, gives left side, and not much room. Again, a gain of a yard or so, but not much for Trevin Coyle, a junior running back.
Gain of a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Coyle picks up 1 to the 41-yard line. 3rd down and 6. I wonder if Trevin is a little brother of Lane Coyle, prominent Duchesne Eagle from past seasons. Eagles all-time, a 5.997 win percentage. 6 state titles. They've gone 6-5 in the state championship game, and Coach Jerry Cowan has been excellent. We'll tell you about that in a minute. Fabrizio takes the snap, tries to find something up the middle, nowhere to go, bounces around the left side, and he's brought down in the backfield. Short of the line of scrimmage, let alone the yard to gain.
4th down.
Coach Cowan, 155 and 40. With today's win, he'll go to 156 and 40 and put his winning percentage at or above 80 or 800. It's been, the epitome of success in 1A and now 2A football. Fabrizio loses a few, and Duchesne is set up in a punt formation for the first time tonight. Short, high punt, just to keep it away from Rich having a chance to field it, and it takes a Rebel bounce back to about Duchesne's 39. Rebels will take over there with under 5 minutes to go. 4:54. Clock stops just to move the chains, change possession, and then we'll pick up back up. 52-0. Duchesne leads on the station on main scoreboard. They scored 52 all in the first half. Rich from its own 39-yard line, a 1st and 10. Rebels trying to get that pro physical therapy touchdown on the board. They had the opening kickoff and then haven't kicked off since. A few punts. Carrillo runs to his right, throws downfield. He's got his man on the right sideline on that RPO, that run-pass option. The ball caught down near the Duchesne 46 by, is that Jaden Grohl on the reception? So Grohl makes the catch.
First down for the Rebels.
And the Rebels move the chains. Comprehensive Family Dental first down. Brought to you by Dr. Sean Grohl, providing quality family dentistry since 1997. That was a 15-yard gain. Jaden Grohl's 5th reception of the season. Carrillo up under center. Sends Huffaker in motion. Riley gets around the containment. Looking. Heaves it down the left sideline and throws an interception. On the right sideline, down the sideline. And Garrett Fabrizio hit at midfield. Carrillo had a man there, and I think he was trying to direct that receiver to go further downfield and then just had to heave it up there when the receiver just not quite on the same page in communication. So the interception, the second of the day for the Duchesne defense, will leave Carrillo at 7 of 17 for the night, 70 yards and 2 picks. Two interceptions plus 3 fumbles. 5 turnovers for the Rich Rebels. Duchesne takes over, 1st and 10 from the 50. 3:30 left in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. Bear Lake Realty, the most experienced and highest volume realtor in the Bear Lake area. Fabrizio under center, takes the snap, fakes to the right, gives to the left, and with no room to run, Trevin Coyle is wrapped up. Finally, the whistles come in as the Rebels were driving him back 3, 4, 5 yards. Coyle's progress stopped at the line of scrimmage, actually a yard behind, a loss of 1 to the 49. Under 3 minutes left to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. Rebel defense has done a nice job against this Duchesne Eagle JV squad in the second half. But the Duchesne varsity team put up 52 points in the first half. Fabrizio takes the snap, gives right side. Big room to run for Gines inside the Rebel territory to the 40-35. Finally wrapped up and brought down by Trey Walker of the Rebels. A freshman makes the tackle, but Gines picks up big yardage. They'll spot him at the 32. 19 yards and a first down for Weston Gines. Puts his total at 7 carries for 38 yards. Half of those, he had 6 carries for 19 yards prior to that 19-yard run. Under 2 minutes to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. And again, tonight's broadcast is also brought to you in part by The Store. Clothes and more. They're in the Monkey Shines strip mall next to the Monkey Shines laundromat. That's The Store. The referee coming right up behind the line of scrimmage as Duchesne looks like they're set up in a victory formation. Maybe going to take a knee here and just end this one out on a running clock. Yep, Fabrizio takes the snap, drops to a knee, and Duchesne will, in very classy typical Duchesne fashion, just run this thing out without trying to run the score up. I was talking to Coach Gines about this before the game because you look at the last 3 games, they've won by an average of score of 59-3. And he said, man, my varsity guys are only playing a quarter and a half, maybe 2 quarters, and that's just where the score gets to, and that's what we see tonight. 3 scores on special teams, a blocked punt recovered in the end zone by Duchesne. Gavin Davis returned a kick and a punt for scores. And then they had 2 drives that ended with just 1-play touchdowns. Add those up, that's 35 points right there. The offense only had to put together a couple of drives to score a couple more touchdowns. One more knee for Garrett Fabrizio, and senior night at Duchesne ends with a Duchesne Eagles monstrous victory, 52-0 on the station on main scoreboard. Stay tuned. We've got your Epic Recreation postgame show coming up. We'll take a quick break. We'll hear from Haley Nye of the Rich Rebel cheer team during our postgame show. We'll do the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap, hear from Coach Justin Grohl on the Stacy's Repair postgame diagnostics, and we'll give you the roundup calendar brought to you by Western Ag Credit. There's the final horde. 52-0. Duchesne wins on the station on main scoreboard.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Austin Peterson, and you're tuned in to Rich High School Football on KADQ and mylocalradio.com.
You're tuned in to Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ Evanston.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest power, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
What could be better than a fresh, mouth-watering burger from the Crawford Trough in Randolph? Top it with cheese and thick-cut bacon, or throw in some mushrooms and make it a double. Now we're talking. Add home-cut fries and a creamy shake, and you might just think you're in paradise. With crisp salads and tasty wraps, plus onion rings, perfectly cooked chicken, cold drinks, and silky smooth ice cream, the Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink at 120 South Main in Randolph. Welcome to the Epic Recreation postgame show. Visit epicrecreation.net for all your rentals in Bear Lake. epicrecreation.net, or find them on Facebook. Bit of a wobbly press box as people are climbing out, and a big win for Duchesne on senior night at Duchesne High School. Time for the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. Jimmy John's, where fresh and fast meat, gourmet sandwiches, fresh and fast every day at 113 Front Street in Evanston. The Rebels at Duchesne on the second to last game of the regular season, and it started out well for Duchesne, and that's the way it went all night long. Duchesne's Gavin Davis returned the opening kickoff 85 yards for a score, and it poured it on from there. A blocked punt recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. Davis, a 60-yard punt return for a score. Kason Grant found Jordan Claiborne for 25 and 44-yard touchdowns. Caleb Sanchez scampered in from 55 yards out. The Rebels turned it over 4 times in the first half and once more in the second half, and Duchesne cruised to a dominant victory, 52-0 on the station on main scoreboard. The final score on the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. Jimmy John's at 113 Front Street in Evanston, where they spend 6 hours daily slicing all natural meats and fresh produce for your 30-second sandwich. Again, a final of 52-0. The Rebels lose at Duchesne. We'll give you some final stats and highlights and talk with Coach Justin Grohl on the Stacy's Repair postgame diagnostics right after this on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. You rely on your vehicle every day. Make sure your ride gets the best service, repairs, and maintenance possible. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff provides the highest quality, the latest technology, and the newest equipment to give your vehicle the absolute best auto care available. Family owned and operated since 1992, your friends at Stacy's Repair promise to always deliver value and outstanding, honest, and knowledgeable service, regardless of repair size or difficulty. Stacy's Repair, the ones who truly care.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on MyLocalRadio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, the Wilson Ranch in Randolph. Good luck, Rebels, from Dale, Kim, Kyler, and Casey. Remember, the harder you work, the more good luck you'll have. And by Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply, a custom shop specializing in leather and wood goods, with a farm feed and supply store to boot. Proudly supporting the Rich Rebels, the Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply Store.
A rough night for the Rebels at Duchesne. On the Station on Main scoreboard, the Eagles with a 52-0 win on the Station on Main scoreboard. And boy, from start to finish, this game belonged to the Duchesne Eagles. Offensively, they didn't do a ton. They didn't have to. 297 yards of offense, 212 on the ground, 85 through the air. But when your quarterback's first two passing attempts go for 25-yard and 44-yard touchdowns, and he goes 3 for 3 for 85 yards with 2 scores and no picks, you're not having to do a whole lot offensively. Caleb Sanchez, the leading rusher, 3 carries, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Jordan Claiborne, 2 receptions, 2 touchdowns, 69 total yards. Gavin Davis touched the ball 3 times. One was a 9-yard run. The other 2, an 85-yard pass or 85-yard kick return for a score. That was the opening kickoff, and a 60-yard punt return for a score. Duchesne piled up 52 points in the first half and never looked back. And second half, Rebels got a little bit of something going offensively, but realistically, just by then it was too little, too late. There was not much that Rich could do. And tried to get some points on the board. Had a couple of nice drives going, but both of those stalled and ended. Duchesne ends the game by taking a couple of knees and finishing off the 52-0 victory. We got Coach Justin Grohl coming up to join us for the Stacy's Repair postgame diagnostics here in just a moment. We'll also continue our postgame show brought to you by Epic Recreation with the Western Ag Credit Roundup calendar. In the meantime, while we wait for Coach Grohl, let me look. While we wait for Coach Grohl, let's move along in our postgame recap with the Rebel Sports Update and hear from Haley Nye, a member of the Rich High Cheer Squad. With Haley Nye, a junior member of the Rich High School Cheer Squad. Thanks so much for your time today, Haley.
Thank you for letting me.
Yeah, you bet. That was a pleasure to talk with you. Tell me about your junior year in cheer.
It's been a great experience. I love the team. I love the coaches. I love cheering for our sports teams.
Have you done cheerleading in the past?
I have not. This is my first year.
What convinced you to join the cheer squad for this year?
I just decided that I wanted to try something new, and I only have 4 years to do that, so why not?
And it sounds like, you said you love everything about it, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Do you wish you had done it in the past? Like, do you wish you'd started as a freshman or sophomore?
No, I liked other sports I played as well. Just wanted to try something new.
So other sports, are you still playing other sports, or did you drop those to do cheer?
I used to play basketball, but I decided to cheer this year.
Was that a tough decision? Is basketball something you enjoy, or you think you'll have a hard time with that cheering instead of playing?
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing basketball. I think I'll miss it a lot, but
you made your choice. You're going to run with it.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So tell me more about the cheer squad. How are things going for the squad? Are you guys getting unified and working together well?
Yeah, I think our team is becoming kind of like a family unit now. We get along really well, and I think that's what makes a good team.
Part of being on the cheer squad is dancing at halftime. You've done that for the football games. Is that something you enjoy as well?
Yeah, I like doing it. It's kind of nerve-wracking sometimes because you have to go out in front of everyone, but it's fun.
Wait, that's the job of a cheerleader, though. Go out in front of everybody.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it's fun when you're in front of your classmates and stuff, and it doesn't really matter if you mess up. But then you get on the recording, and it just makes you nervous, I guess.
Does being nervous make it harder for you, or does it make it more fun, or anything like that?
I think it makes it a little funner, I guess, because you get to go and perform to your best abilities. It's just the nerves at the beginning, and then they just leave.
So cheer, and then do you do anything else for Rich High School? Are you going to do the musical or anything in the spring, track and field?
I did track and field 1 year. I haven't decided yet.
The cheer squad, what's your next game that you're cheering at? Do you know?
I think it's the 17th of this month, and it's a football game.
When Monticello's here?
Yes.
Do you have a preference so far? Do you enjoy football games more or volleyball more? Are they both really fun?
I like cheering for both, just to cheer for our whole school and unite us together.
Before you were a cheerleader, so the last couple of years, would you go to games and were you loud and proud and rebel rowdy kind of stuff? Or is it now that you're a cheerleader, you're getting louder?
Well, I think I was kind of loud before, and this is kind of what made me choose cheerleading, is to get other people involved as well.
Anything else we should know about the Rich High cheer squad?
No, I think that's it. I just love cheerleading, and I think it's a great atmosphere to be around.
Thanks so much for your time. Haley Nye, a junior at Rich High School. Good luck with the rest of your junior year.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that was Haley Nye here on the Rebel Sports Update. Stay tuned. The Stacy's Repair postgame diagnostics with Coach Justin Grohl coming up in a moment here on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. Again, Duchesne with a 52-0 victory.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208.
Is it time to stop wishing for your dream home in beautiful Bear Lake? If you're ready to make your dream a reality, Bear Lake Realty can help with residential and land listings, including vacation properties, timeshares, cabins, condos, beachfront, lake view, and more. Bear Lake Realty has what you're looking for. And with more than 30 years of real estate experience in the area, you know you're working with the best. Visit bearlakerealty.com and come and enjoy the Caribbean of the Rockies with us.
Back at Duchesne High School here on the post-game show brought to you by Epic Recreation. For all your rentals in the Bear Lake area, visit epicrecreation.net or find them on Facebook, Epic Recreation. The post-game diagnostics brought to you by Stacy's Repair. The ones who truly care about you and your vehicle. If you need a repair, take it to Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. Looks like maybe Coach Grohl thinking, let's get on the road. It's cold. He's probably done with it for the night. 52-0 Duchesne victory over the Rebels. And I hate to have situations where this comes up, but as far as worst losses in football history for the Rich Rebels, this one ranks up there as number 3. Rebels lost last year against Westside 55-0. In 1998, lost against San Juan 55-0. And this one 52-0, right up there above 2015 loss against Kanab that was 49-0. So a tough loss tonight at Duchesne for the Rich Rebel football team. Volleyball team tonight, in case you missed it, swept Millard in 2. They swept South Sevier, and they swept Milford in 2 as well. And Rich volleyball team will get right back at it tomorrow, first thing in the morning, against Panguitch. And we'll have the match right here on KDQ and mylocalradio.com. Our pregame coverage will start at 8:15 tomorrow morning. All right, so let's move right along. And, again, thanks to Stacy's Repair, normally sponsoring our postgame diagnostics with Coach Justin Grohl. I think Coach Grohl bowing out for tonight, understandably, after a tough loss and a cold night in Duchesne. So we'll give him a pass tonight and plan to talk with him next week, preparing for Monticello and then postgame after the Monticello game in the Stacy's Repair postgame diagnostics. Stay tuned. We'll have one more quick break and then have the roundup calendar brought to you by Western Ag Credit right after this on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. When it comes to farming and ranching, it makes good sense to work with a lender who understands finance and agriculture. Western Ag Credit is an independent cooperative owned by the farmers and ranchers who borrow from it. With competitive rates, your loan is tailored to match your business needs. Real estate, livestock, equipment, and operating expenses. When it comes to farming and ranching financing, Western Ag Credit in Evanston is your partner in agriculture. Whether you're kicking kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder. Don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net. Back at Duchesne, last break on the Epic Recreation post-game show. Epic Recreation for all your rentals in Bear Lake. Visit epicrecreation.net. Tough loss tonight against the Duchesne Eagles. They piled up 52 points in the first half and won 52-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Looking ahead to the rest of this weekend, Rebel Volleyball is at the Richfield Tournament, and our coverage will start tomorrow morning bright and early, 8:30. Rich takes on Panguitch, so we'll go on the air about 8:15 tomorrow morning here on KDQ, and you can watch live on mylocalradio.com. We'll stay with the Rebels throughout the day and all the matches they play at the Richfield Tournament tomorrow. Also tomorrow, the Rich Middle School volleyball team, the Royals, are at the North Divisional Tournament. That begins at 9 a.m. And Wyoming Cowboys football, coming off the bye week, play at San Diego State. So they'll go down south to the San Diego Community Credit Union Stadium for a pregame at 7:30. You can listen live here on KADQ. Kickoff at 8:30 with Kevin Walsh, Dave Walsh, Kevin McKinney, and the crew. Looking ahead to next week on Tuesday, it's picture retakes at South Rich Elementary and Rich High School. And then for sports on Tuesday, the Rich High School cross-country team is at the regional cross-country meet. That's in Murray and begins at 11 a.m. Rebel John Scott has, I think, some realistic goals and expectations of winning a region title, and some other Rebels will be there as well. We wish them the best of luck next Tuesday. Wednesday, of course, you can tune in every Wednesday night at 7:07 p.m. for the University of Wyoming Football Coaches Show. That's here on KADQ. Looking ahead to next Thursday, Rebel Volleyball in action at Tabiona to wrap up the region season, and Rebel football wraps up the regular season in football with its final game of the regular season. And again, I said earlier it was Friday, but it is next Thursday. Rich hosting Monticello, and I believe that they are bringing a JV team, so I think there will be half a JV game, and then varsity at 4 o'clock with our pregame at 3:15. Next Friday, School City training at 8 a.m. in the Rich High School Computer Lab, and then next Saturday, Wyoming Cowboys return home for homecoming to host the New Mexico Lobos. That's your roundup calendar, brought to you by Western Ag Credit, your partner in agriculture. Western Ag Credit in Evanston, a lender who understands finance and agriculture. Western Ag Credit. That'll do it for us tonight on the Epic Recreation postgame show. A final score again, 52-0 Duchesne with the victory, and that wraps up our Epic Recreation postgame show. For John Scott, tonight's videographer, and our producer, Alyssa McDaniel, back in the studio. Make sure to tune in tomorrow morning when Rebel Volleyball continues play at the Richfield Tournament. Our pregame coverage starts tomorrow morning bright and early at 8:15 right here on KADQ and mylocalradio.com. Until then, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk with you again soon.
You've been tuned in to Rich High School football on Rebel Radio KADQ FM 98.3 with video streaming live online at mylocalradio.com. Today's game has been brought to you by Auto Farm Chevrolet, Evanston Regional Hospital, by Plains Tire, the Come On In of Casper, by Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, Cash Honda Yamaha of Cache Valley, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, and by mylocalradio.com. The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of mylocalradio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Old West Media. Our executive producer is Val Cook. We thank our office manager, Kayleen Anderson, and our sales manager, Julie Burley, along with Evanston's Elin Olaf, the Valley's Jake Hibbard, and production assistants Preston Bush and A.J. Lamb. The biggest thanks of all goes to our sponsors and to you for tuning in. We invite you to visit mylocalradio.com for archived games and past interviews with Rebel players and coaches, and like My Local Radio on Facebook to stay up to date with the games. Thank you for joining us on this presentation of Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. Until next time, go Rebels!